All right, Scoop, I see that you're good as well. That's perfect. All right, welcome in to Football After Hours. People might ask why we've been recording as early as humanly possible during these Sunday night games. Because these games suck. We've changed the rules. These games are awful. Why not start early? Joined by Scoop, Brandon, I'm Robert. Before we get to this terrible before we get to this Steelers Chargers game, I have an award to announce. This is, I promise, preface very, very. I'm going to be very careful, but I'm going to be honest. This is not a political thing. This is just purely commentating and how people do stuff on air and that sort of thing. That I know, Scoop, you're well involved in. Brandon, I know you're well involved in, obviously, myself. I'm giving out the worst commentator of the year award. The only time we're going to give this out, because I don't like giving it out to actual commentators, because it's kind of rude to just give out a worst commentary award when
to be fair, it's also rude to us for people to go out there and be paid to give shit commentary. But
that is true. But I don't like doing that. It's going to be a one-time award.
You're too nice, Rob. We know.
Yeah, I think we might call it the Trumpy Award for bad commentary, because, oh my God, the winner of the worst commentary award, the only time we'll probably ever get this out, is President Donald Trump. Oh my God, that was the worst.
It was bad.
The worst 2 minutes I've ever seen in my life.
Respectfully, I think no matter how you feel about him, I think even people who really like him would even agree with that. I know people who really like him who would even agree with that.
You know what though?
Scoop, move your camera up. Move your camera keep your face in the middle. If you can, no worries if not.
You know what it is? It's
fine.
Entertaining. It's entertaining because it was such a train wreck. That's what made it entertaining.
No, okay, no. No, Scoop, you're fine. You're totally good. I just wanted to confirm. Anyway,
unfortunately, the fact that I have a big head is nothing that my computer can do anything about.
That was not the intention of that. Oh my God, I apologize. Okay. So here's the thing, right?
Peyton Manning forehead over here.
So you're having Wendy's Coke. That's legendary. I love that.
No. I'm having Wendy's Vanilla Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. We're getting so off track here. I'm so fascinated by Scoop's drink choices during the show.
When you have me on your show, you automatically don't have a track anymore. It's just...
That is true.
It's like your sleep schedule. It's like nobody even knows anymore.
I throw a shot, Scoop throws it back at me. This is perfect. I love it. This is great. All right. So my role on this show, except I'm not doing a good job of it right now, is to cue you guys for something, right? Be like, oh, Scoop, what's your feeling on Buffalo, which we're going to get to later. Well, we're going to get to that next.
How much time do you have?
Yeah, or whatever, right? It's very like, hey, I'm going to cue you on this thing. You guys mostly don't know what to expect. Sometimes you do, whatever. But I'm like, all right, here's this question. Here's this. God bless Jonathan Vilma and Kenny Albert, because they were trying to cue him on so many things. And then he's like, the stock market. I'm like, what? They asked you about your football playing career. Why are you yelling about the stock market? Like, what are we doing?
I think they did ask him one political question. But they
asked him. But I think it was just generally funny, the political questions, because he was like, "What does Veterans Day mean to you?" And he's like, "I wish we had Shane here to do the impression because it would be so much better." But Donald Trump is like
he's a Joey Molinaro of our group.
Yeah.
No, but literally he's like, we've added more people than ever, and I'm like, what? It's Veterans Day. I'm not worried about the amount of people you've added to whatever. Anyway, so they open it by talking about his playing career, which honestly, cool number 85, all these things, really cool stuff. So he starts talking about it, and he's like, I don't even think my quarterback threw over 10 yards. I'm like, okay, that's not camaraderie. Okay. And there was one moment in the whole thing that was like, all right, I'm totally putting this in to start the show because I just think it's amazing. This is like the worst thing you could possibly do. Now I want Donald Trump to do radio of an NFL game because I think it would be just amazing. And the field goal goes off the post. Obviously, we're in the second half of the Chargers game. Anyway, so
that's the most Chargers Steelers game thing ever.
Absolutely, by far.
Well, aside from this game starting with a safety.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. A field goal and a safety. Which, again, we'll get to. So, basically, he talks about the Commanders, right? No, it's me going off track because I'm doing the Donald Trump thing of not being on track.
Not helping you at all.
This is bad. No, it's fine. I'm at fault for this. This is my job. Anyway, so he's talking about the Commanders, right? And he starts this by going, just kind of unprompted, really. He goes, oh, I think this backup quarterback is pretty good. And then their quarterback, he's got to stop getting injured. And it took me a minute. I was like, backup quarterback? Wait. He didn't even say the Commanders. Who is he talking about? Wait. And then when he said the injured part, I was like, oh, he's talking about the Commanders. You're supposed to say, hey, the Commanders. I didn't know what he was talking about. I was like, what is going on? And that's a huge... On TV, it's fine in most cases. Context clues are there. But on radio, oh my God. That's why I want him to do radio. Yeah. You can't... That's a huge no-no on radio. That is as awful as can be. And then Jonathan Vilma's trying to do 6-7 jokes all over the place just to lighten the mood.
I caught that immediately. When he's did
that, was so annoying.
No way you just did that with President Trump in the booth. There's no way you just did that.
I mean, you could. I mean, at least do 4-7 since he's the 47th president.
Yeah, it's something different. Yeah, but the second he slid that in there, I was like, "Oh, John."
He slid it in there twice.
I was like, "Oh, John." Yeah, but it was oh my God.
And then one of the most fun things that every guest gets to do, especially like famous guests in booths, and a lot of times they're really good at it because it's fun. They do it for entertainment purposes. Like, hey, why don't you call a play? And he proceeds to just do nothing of any play-by-play or color-based thing.
It's like a really, really important play here. Really important play.
You know, I was like this is...
He's like, oh, yeah, look at that run. Okay, cool.
He's like, this guy is really speedy. And I don't even think he knows who Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, a.k.a. Bill, is. Do you think he knows who he is?
No.
Like...
There's no way. There's no way
he knows who that is. So, anyway, congratulations, President Trump, for being the most unlikely person to win an award. The first person to ever win an award in this show's history. For the worst 2 minutes of commentary I've ever seen in my entire life.
I will add this. Just as somebody who did speech and debate for much of my high school career, politically completely independent of anything, how do you not expect that from what we know about his style of speaking?
Well, okay, yes, I get that. I did public speaking as well. I get that. But my biggest issue with it is like someone at Fox, because obviously they're adjacent to Fox News and all that stuff. That's actually my biggest problem with this, is he acted like a normal Fox broadcast, like a normal Fox Sports broadcast, was like Fox News. I'm like, dude, this is massively different. This is not the place. And by the way, again, this is why I emphasize, this is not a political thing. This is supposed to be funny. That's the intention.
No, of course not.
Is we don't want to hear you talking about stocks or how much you're doing in the military or prices going down in the middle of a football game. Why do we watch football? To get away from that.
To get away from that.
Read the room. Yeah. Read the damn room.
Yeah, no, that was not.
I mean, the one thing I'll provide, I'll give a little grace on is, is anybody that gets to that age, like 70 plus years old, it's like it's hard to keep them on track. You're just not gonna. Like,
okay, wait, but okay, not to compare, but there are a lot of guys on Fox, even on CBS. CBS also tailors to the older crowd. They've always done that. They have older people doing commentary, and I get it. They're actual NFL people. I get that.
Yeah, it's different.
But it's
they know the game. Yeah.
But also, like, a huge part of being president is like knowing media.
Yeah.
Top
What's
to
going
bottom.
on? Yeah.
Top to bottom. And he just seems
especially
lost.
like with his background largely is in media, so you would think that.
And with his
social
media,
he's all about the ratings. And he literally said on the broadcast, the most no thing you could possibly say in an NFL game is, "Oh my God, your ratings are going down because this game sucks." He basically said that during the thing which was amazing.
Not one part of that sentence surprises me.
I was like, "This is awesome!" Like, it's awesome, but it's also like,
and it's like,
oh my God, man!
It's like when you're driving by. It's like when you're driving by on I'll say 55 because it's the main freeway near here. But it's like when you're driving by on 55 and you see a 5-car pileup over here, and
you look at it like you're staring at it as you're driving.
It's so bad what's happening, but you also can't look away at the same time.
Yeah, it's like I've seen car fires like on the Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah, literally.
I'm like this. I'm like hearing one I hear like this, like because I'm just like,
yeah, like
it's look away. That's how bad it is.
Especially Albert. Like, I get it; they're trained to deal with these situations. But if you're Fox, why are you putting them in that situation to begin with? Also, even when I think it was Gary Danielson and those guys at CBS, they interviewed him for Army Navy, and it was also weird. If I don't remember, it wasn't as weird as this. But oh my God, this
one was so awkward. It was just so awkward. It was like,
Also, he randomly. Okay, so this again, we're making fun of Trump, inexpensive him, whatever. Who cares? He did the hand movement thing that he always does a couple of times. I'm like, dude, you're holding a microphone in your right hand. Why are you doing this? Wagging a tail. It's like me doing this during the show, which sometimes I do, where I just pop like this. It's like, Oh my God, dude. Like, and I do that mostly as a tick. I don't know if it's a tick for him, but he did this twice, and I think mentally he was like, stop doing it, stop doing it.
You know what part I cringed at the most is when for some reason they're just going off on like a 2-minute tangent about Jonathan Vilma's playing career as if we give a shit. And like talking about like all the things he's done in his career, national champion, all this stuff. And Donald Trump's like, "Oh, really? Good for you." Like, it was like that kind of thing. And I'm like, guys, no one cares about Jonathan Vilma's playing career. Like, can we stop with this crap? Like that was like
they were looking for something to talk about. They were looking to talk because they originally were hoping, because this is how it works. They originally were hoping, hey, we'll talk about Trump's playing career. We'll make some fun jokes at his expense on that. We'll have a good time. We'll call a couple plays, and then we'll do some politicky-esque thing, and then he'll leave. That was the plan.
Yeah.
It got completely derailed immediately, which they should have known anyway. It got completely derailed like this, smack the table. It got completely derailed, and so they had to like fill time by doing something. And so they mentioned Florida. They mentioned all these things to try to get him to go on a path, and he didn't read the room at all. He didn't read any possible human cue.
But one part that I really I had to laugh at it because because it was a fun little joke that like you always hear like from some celebrity that will talk about a certain player or whatever, and Jonathan Vilma showing off his Super Bowl ring and whatnot with the Saints, and like. He was like, Donald Trump's like, yeah, I heard your quarterback was pretty good. Like he knows Drew Brees. He knows who Drew Brees is. Like, so it was like, I heard your quarterback was pretty good.
I don't think he knew that it was Drew Brees. I don't think, did he know that?
No, he don't, because the way he delivered that line is like, yeah, he was making like a tongue-in-cheek joke about Drew Brees. Like, yeah, I heard your quarterback was pretty good back in the day. Like the way he kind of delivered that, like he knew Drew Brees.
Also, they were saying, by the way, Drew Brees is also a new colleague at them at Fox. So they did two. They did a Tom Brady thing and a Drew Brees thing.
And I didn't really what do you call it? I should have connected these dots. I didn't originally, but that's the replacement for Mark Sanchez, who was dismissed earlier this week.
Yeah, so Adam Amin was calling the game with Kurt Warner. His new partner is going to be Drew Brees, which I think is actually going to be awesome. Scoop, do you have anything else on the worst commentary moment in the history of television?
No.
It's up there. No? Nothing else? It was just so bad. What might be worse, I don't even know if that's a good segment, is the Steelers offense.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this game. I can't watch this. Like, dude, do you realize looking at this game right now that the Steelers have run, I think, 3 of the same exact plays on this drive? They've ran a freaking screen to Jaylen Warren like 3 times on this drive. Like, come on, man. You really don't have any other play because Aaron Rodgers is so slow and old. Oh, my God. He missed the 3rd and 6. Oh, my God. Like, why can't the Steelers offense just draw anything up that isn't a God? Oh, that isn't
4th and 6. Brandon, I need your reaction to this. Look at this.
Can't wait for this.
This is amazing.
How, like, Aaron Rodgers?
Can you do play-by-play of this? Do a quick play. Do a better play-by-play than Donald Trump.
I mean, all right. So we got 4th and 6.
If that bar were any lower, I would have caught my heel on it.
Yeah, 4th and 6. Freiermuth in motion. Rodgers takes the snap. Are you throwing a fade? Oh my God! Are you literally throwing to DK Metcalf when he's not even open?
In double coverage.
And it's basically a fade round to double coverage. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Go, Scoop. Go to Scoop. I can't
Scoop.
do this.
I couldn't tell what he was saying to me.
No, because I think Shane is. I think Shane is he hopping on? I don't know. Anyway, Scoop. The problems with your boy Justin Herbert is also rearing its ugly head, I guess is the way to put it. I'm so out of whack. Okay, I woke up at 5:00 to watch that stupid Colts game. I'm acting like Donald Trump during play-by-play right now. This is bad. Anyway, go ahead, Scoop.
I didn't gather what the question was there.
No, the question was, also Justin Herbert had a bad night.
Just to talk about what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, his receivers didn't help him much, but it's not good. It's not good.
I'll grant that. His receivers didn't help him much. That being said, you know this. He is one of the people that I'm so damn sick and tired of everything always being everyone else's fault. I am so damn sick and tired of the fact that there is just, if it's in NFL media, well, sports media in general, but in NFL media in particular, it just feels like there's always certain cherry-picked individuals for whom always an 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th excuse will be made. And he somehow ended up as one of them. I don't know how he was billed as this golden boy arm talent that was coming out of college, once in a generation, blah, blah, blah. And we saw it against the Raiders. Congratulations. On that. And we lost Brandon.
No.
But again, just looking at what transpired in this game, at least so far, 15-3. Now, granted, Pittsburgh has, or at least at times, has looked like they have somewhat of a legitimate defense. So I wasn't expecting them to go in there today and put up 35. But the fact that you've only put up 15 at home, even though they have no home field advantage of which to speak, and they were just you should have been able to put together something that was beyond a 60% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, and a passer rating of 85, being sacked 4 times. Now, again, the sacks I don't entirely put on him, obviously, because we've talked about his O-line issues, ad nauseum on this show. but Quentin Johnson targeted 10 times, only came down with 5. That's an issue, obviously, and again, that's an issue that's not entirely on him. Keenan Allen pulled in only 1 of his 3 attempts. Ladd McConkey pulled in only 3 of 5 attempts. One of them was for the touchdown. But again, most of these guys, anyone who got more than 2 targets, struggled with at least half of them. And so that automatically.
These are in progress stats, but I think it still matters. So I don't think it's going to change much in 11 minutes.
No, and like you said, it still matters, and like you said, the last 11 minutes, some of that, depending on how the game ends up, some of that's going to turn into quote unquote garbage time and such, because the Chargers, one of the things they have done is dominated time and possession. They've had the ball for almost a half hour, and the Steelers have had it for under 20 minutes
and 15 points.
Yep.
What happened?
No, and I was saying, and only 15 points with that much.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know what happened there, but so I take issue with the fact that, again, I'm waiting for when I'm going to see what I'm told I'm supposed to be seeing with him, and I've waited for it for a while, and again, this is one of those games where you would have thought it was going to happen. This is it's a 5-3 Steelers team, but it's not an insurmountable one. We've seen them struggle against teams that are with quarterbacks that are not supposed to be as good as Justin Herbert is, and I'm just again waiting to see, at what point have we given enough chances? Because it feels like they're going to defend this guy until his claws come off. And I don't even know what that saying is. But it's just, it's getting to a point, well, it's past a point, frankly, where I'm not going to, look at your career, and I'm not going to look at you as a quarterback off what you can do against the Raiders. I'm just not. That doesn't interest me. I'm not, Tom Brady, he built a lot of regular season wins off the Jets and off the backs of the Jets and the Dolphins. But we looked at him for what he did in the postseason. We didn't look at him for what he was able to accumulate against the discarded chutney of his division. We're not going to look at to bring up someone like Jalen Hurts. We're not going to look at him for what he can do against the Giants and the Commanders when they were down in the dumps.
When you're the best team in the division, you're supposed to smack on your division opponents, even if you lose one or two of those.
It's like when you were younger, and you used to get, you had like 6 or 7 different things that you were graded on.
Oh no, 6, 7, Jesus. Okay, continue.
See, I wasn't even thinking of that. Okay, 7 or 8 different things that you were graded on your 7 or 8 different things that you were graded on in your report card, and it's like, the one you got the highest grade on was attendance. Congratulations. I'm not interested in you doing well at showing up.
Yeah. Brandon, you had an adverse reaction to that Ladd McConkey play, which I understand. But I mean, we were talking about this every week with the Chargers. I mean, it's again the Chargers chargering, and a lot of that's on Justin Herbert. You can continue on that while I go close my door and get my TV remote, because it's pretty much over.
Yeah. So everybody knows, obviously, my history with Justin Herbert, but at the same time, just when you look at his body of work in the NFL, like you said, Scoop, like look at his body of work. It's like he's built it off of a lot of just crappy kind of, decent enough wins against bad competition. And it's like, when you look at all the great quarterbacks or the elite quarterbacks in this league, they've beaten the best of the best. At least most of them have. I look at Justin Herbert and I don't see the elite quarterback that people either think he is or that they thought he was going to be coming out of college. I don't see it. It hasn't showed up ever. Like, unless it's a squash game against a crappy opponent where he puts up, but then he's the problem too. Everybody
go for some squash right now.
good. It's good this time of year.
I could go to play some squash right now over this football game.
Like,
What?
you know,
Do you know the sport squash?
Oh,
Oh no! Oh no! 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 Scoop! No!
it's fine. We'll fill you in after the show.
Oh no!
Okay.
Scoop, you're a sports guy. You know the sport of squash.
I'm a sports guy, but I don't watch curling either.
So here we go.
You know what curling is? Oh my god!
So no, at least he can. I think he knows that.
Yeah.
But
squash is basically tennis, but in a container.
Yeah.
In a container.
Yeah. You're in like a glass.
Let's just go back to what Brandon was talking about.
Anyway.
Yeah, like this is. But when you think about like his receivers not helping him tonight, it's like okay, it's one game. But like this year, Quentin Johnston's been great. Ladd McConkey's still Ladd McConkey. Keenan Allen's back where his career started. Keenan Allen is a good third option, fourth option at this point in his career. Like you have a good tight end now who's exploded out of nowhere. You have a decent enough running game. Your O-line's not great, but decent enough running game. Like you have pieces offensively to where it should be better than this, and it's not. And you know, Justin Herbert has games or like this is why I don't like when people say, "Oh, well, Justin Herbert throws for 4,500 yards a year and 35 touchdowns." But he also throws like 15, 16 picks a year. And he also, you know, that's why when you look at games, he's throwing like there was one game he literally threw for 420 yards this year. And he threw 2 or 3 interceptions in that game. Like that's not a good stat line because you're throwing a lot. So it's like high volume passers. That's what Justin Herbert is. He's a high volume passer. Like, it's going to look good because he throws so damn often, which it's funny because in a Harbaugh offense, they like to run the ball. I don't know why they don't do it more. Because that's what we said.
Vidal's been good, by the way.
Yeah.
So they should use him more.
Like tonight, he's been really the focal point of why they have the points that they do. But it's just like every time I look at the Chargers, like they're going to be 7-3 after this game. But like once again, they're another one of those teams that have, you know, around that 7-win mark, you know, 5 wins, anybody above 5 wins at this point, where it's like you look at them and you go, what do I like about this team? Nothing. Like, you know, I look at their defense and I don't think it's great. But I mean, this is still the best roster Herbert has probably had overall in his career.
I would 100% agree.
And you know, what do you have to show for it so far? I mean, you're still throwing a lot of interceptions. You're still showing you can rein. The thing is with a gunslinging quarterback, you can rein in the gunslinging tendencies to a point. Like when you look at what Buffalo does, and Buffalo's not great this year, but you look at what Buffalo does as a whole. Josh Allen has now reverted to a lot of gunslinging tendencies. But what did he do last year and the early part of this year? They took the gunslinger out of him, and they were playing decent enough football to win games. And last year was the MVP. He played really well last year. But gunslingers, honestly, if there's any quarterback that I don't like when it comes to NFL, you know, to football, I don't like a gunslinging quarterback because rarely when you look at them do you think that they're that like, you know, like Brett Favre, gunslinger, Hall of Famer, yes, Super Bowl champion, but 1,000 interceptions. You know, it's like, you know, how much of that was really the talent around him? How much of that was him? And how much of that was the good coaching staff with Holmgren and what they all had there collectively? Like, so it's like, you know, you look at him, okay, he's like the one, I guess, maybe outlier. But like Justin Herbert, gunslinger, not good. Josh Allen, gunslinger, can't win big games, plays hero ball too much. You know, Joe Burrow's a gunslinger, but to an extent. He's not a full-on gunslinger, but he hasn't won anything. And when they ask him to pass too much, it gets them into trouble a little bit.
He also sometimes has no choice but to play a certain way because the protection in there is worse than Phillip Rivers off the field.
What is that pick? Oh my God. But
game's over. It's basically the gist.
Yeah, Jesus. But like you look at a lot of but then you look at the quarterbacks who weren't gunslingers in their career, like who were effective passers. Brady, Mahomes, Breeze. The only kind of gunslinging type quarterback that really but he could tailor his game, I guess, to being like a sort of a gunslinger, but also kind of a more refined quarterback when he needs to be, was like Peyton Manning. But his brother, Eli, gunslinger. Gunslingers are just not a good archetype for me. If I'm building a team, I don't want a Justin Herbert type quarterback. I don't want a straight up gunslinger because you're going to lose more games than you should. And it's just not conducive to winning football when the guy's throwing.
It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
Because you're regular. You might win a lot of games in the regular season. You might have like 11, 12 wins, whatever it is. But then you're looking at the QB and you're going, well, yeah, the problem is when you get to the playoffs, he's one mistake away from losing you a game.
Yeah.
So every single time. So when I look at Justin Herbert and the Chargers, I'm like, okay, listen, their record's going to be good, but he's with that. Look at Derek Carr. Derek Carr was like that in his career. Gunslinger. What did he win? He was terrible when it mattered. Justin Herbert, terrible when it mattered. Brett Favre to an extent, despite the Super Bowl, or 2 Super Bowls, whatever it was. I can't remember right now. I'm tired. When it mattered, gunslinger, it was like he got into trouble often, and his team would have to bail him out. So, the best quarterbacks in the NFL are the ones. Now, you're going to make mistakes, but the whole key is to not make 2, 3, 4 mistakes in a game as a quarterback. One, you can
not make the same one over and over.
Yeah, and all these quarterbacks are doing that. All these gunslinger type quarterbacks do that. So I don't like Aaron Rodgers. People have called him a gunslinger in his career, but he's not. He's a little more nuanced than being a gunslinger. He's not because he has a low interception rate. Gunslingers usually have a high turnover rate because they throw so much and they throw a lot of picks. That was not Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. But so it's bad. It's just bad watching Justin Herbert play football with this Chargers team because we are seeing the same things that we've seen his whole career already, and it's not getting better. He's literally just
it's a flat line. Yeah, it's a flat line. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to gonna try my best to steer away from Eagles talk because I know I could get there with this next topic, and I kind of want to wait till tomorrow. I will say though, in defense of both Scoop and Brandon, that the fact that everywhere that I see, I love that Scoop always waves when I mention your guys' names. I love that. That's perfect. Just a nice little subtle wave. I love it. It's great. It's like, we're here. Let's go. I love it. Eagles fan hype. I love it. So I will say in defense, and I will let you guys have the floor on this tomorrow, depending on how the game goes. The fact that in every pundit's Twitter account today, no one's mentioned the Eagles as a Super Bowl contender has annoyed the crap out of me throughout the entire day. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's pretty bad. It's weird. I don't really get it.
I've honestly stayed off of social media for the most part today.
Yeah, it's bad. But we can get to tomorrow. And okay, the Rams are the number 1 team, everyone says, in the NFC. Eagles are there as well. We understand that. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't want to talk about that because I kind of want to save that for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What I want to talk about is we watched all 4 NFC West teams today. All 4 of them. There we go, 4. Play against each other today in the late window, right? Who is the best team in the NFC West and why?
I mean, honestly, if I'm looking at it, because here's the thing, in the NFC West, what does Seattle do? It's because it's between Seattle and the Rams.
That's what we're talking about. Who is better right now?
See, the thing is, Seattle offensively doesn't do what the Rams do, but Seattle defensively is the best team, one of the best teams in the league, but by far the best defense in that division. So, if I had to pick right now, if it was on the line, if they played each other and it was on, what is going on? It's a muff punt.
And by the way, the part of the reason I asked this question is we will see a pretty definitive answer more than likely next week when they play against each other.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm going right now because of how white. Listen, now Sam Darnold and Matt Stafford are in MVP conversations easily, but the offense for the Rams is way more explosive than Seattle, and I feel like. But here's the thing: defense wins championships. That is a championship environment between those two teams. That's what that's going to be. And now, where is that game? That meeting?
I should know this. I haven't checked. By the way, the fact that that's not getting flexed, I know short notice. The fact that that's not getting flexed to primetime is so disappointing. The fact that's not a primetime game is so insanely
that should have
disappointing.
been flexed. That should have been flexed 2-3 weeks ago.
That's actually a good point. It probably should have, because next week I think is the first week you can do flexes. It is in Los Angeles.
Ooh, see, I give the nod. I give the nod to LA. I mean, even though that's not much of a home field advantage, we've said that before. But
I mean, look at the Chargers game tonight.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not so much of it being in LA as the fact that it's not in Seattle. Because if it was in Seattle, it's outdoors. It's the 12th man.
Yeah.
It's the defense. So I give the nod to LA because their offense is slightly better. Not slightly. It's better. Like, I look at Seattle every game and I go, they're not blowing you away. They're doing all the right things offensively. They're not turning the ball over. They're still putting up enough points to win. But like, I look at Seattle the same way I'm looking at the Patriots this year, where it's like, offensively, they do look good, like statistically, but they don't put up a ton of points. They just don't. And then defense is good enough to where it's really, well, not good enough. It's good, so it's able to limit the other team's offense, slow them down, and that way all they have to do offensively is score 24, 27 points and they win. But the thing is, with the Rams, they're a team that at any given game can put up 35 to 40 points. That's who the Rams are. So that game almost feels like, between those two, it's the first team to 30 wins. So I'm looking, and the thing is, but I don't know if Seattle can actually do that because they're not healthy right now. I don't know about next week what the health is going to look like, but they're not healthy. JSN's fantastic. JSN is in MVP conversations too, but you're running games.
More of Shaheed next week.
You're going to see more. He's going to stretch the field, and that's important because what do we say about the Rams defense? That secondary is not good. So you're going to be able to throw on them. The only thing is, how is Sam Darnold going to handle that pressure from the front seven of LA? Because we already know Sam Darnold's not good under pressure, and we know that, at least historically, this year it's a little bit different. He's been a little bit better, but when you send those kinds of hungry dogs after Sam Darnold, it might not be pretty. He might have to get that ball out fast, and it might not be where it's intended. So, as of right now, I'm giving the edge to LA. Just overall, it's not by much, but because both teams do something one thing or the other better than the other team. But I give the edge to LA just because, for the simple fact that this is a long-winded explanation, but their offense is more explosive. That's why.
Scoop, how do you view these two teams going to next week? Who do you think, as of today, who do you think is the best team in the NFC West?
I have it as the Rams for two reasons. One, they're a lot better at the turnover battle than are the Seahawks. They are one of the best teams at taking it away and not giving it away, as opposed to and the Seahawks are kind of a little bit of the reverse of that. And I'll just say it again. Matt Stafford has proven it time and again. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. I've seen him do it time and again. We were talking earlier off air about how the last couple of years, one team that Philly's been able to, and this is the one area where I mentioned Philly. Philly's been able to hold them off, but that the Rams, I would argue, other than the Bucs, I would argue the Rams are the team that is consistently giving them the biggest fight in whatever they do, and they the Rams, if you beat them, you're going to do it, and it's going to be a victory where you're going to be hurting afterward. And so, and again, respect to both Darnold and Luck, for kind of having these sort of second wins to their careers up in Seattle. But I need to see more of it in big games. I need to see more of it late in the season and in these massive games for me to trust them like I trust a Super Bowl winning quarterback with as much experience as Stafford does. So for those two main reasons in particular, I think that's what gives the Rams the edge over the Seahawks. But I don't think it's a wide chasm between the two teams.
Yeah, I was on Seattle's case for the last few weeks. The more I'm sitting with it, the more I'm thinking the Rams, and I'm also going to add this in for Seattle. Have you guys seen them play like full 4 quarters of football in kind of a tight game yet?
Nope.
Like, and that to me, I think is a massive concern going into next week.
The tough thing that I see from that I saw from both teams, both of them. Obviously, they haven't lost many games, and the games that they did lose, both of them. The games they've lost have been very close, one possession type games. So, but of course, on the same token, both of them have wins that are like that as well. So, if you're gonna, make the case that they could have easily won that game that they lost or the games that they lost, you can make the case they also could have easily lost the games that they won in that fashion as well.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you guys 2 of the top teams in the AFC to compare. Scoop, I'll start with you. Let's go Colts and Patriots.
Colts and Patriots. All right. Well, one of the fascinating things about them, about the two teams in particular, is you got very similar yet different quarterback situations. Similar in the sense that nobody really expected them to perform the way that they are this year, but different in the fact that the Patriots drafted Drake May expecting and hoping eventually they would get something like this. The Colts took a damn flyer on Daniel Jones after a longtime quarterback needy team in the New York Giants didn't want him anymore after overpaying his ass. So from those vantage points, and I know that some people are saying, "Oh, well, this is because of with the Colts, it's because of the team around him, it's because of the Jonathan Taylor resurgence, it's because of Coach Steichen." Shout out to Coach Steichen. I also want to put one up for somebody who I think is definitely getting attention, but not as much as I think that they deserve, and that's Carly Ursay, their new their new owner. I've really liked what I've seen from her.
She is, by the way, immediately the best owner in the NFL. It's not even close. Actually insane.
I think that she is doing what I think a lot of teams or a lot of fans wish their owners would do, and being more of a student of the game rather than coming in and trying to impose herself upon the game or the team or whatever. So just massive hat off to that. She
also gave out free beers to all the Colts fans in Munich, and that was awesome.
You know what? I don't drink, but I definitely know that you can never lose a fan by trying to give them a free beer. So
especially in Germany.
Oh, I didn't even realize that you had said Germany. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she did that in Munich. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, aside from Dublin, Munich is probably the best place to do that. But going back to what you were saying, and on the flip side, or not on the flip side, another kind of similarity but difference at the same time with these teams is that both have very well-respected coaches, but Shane Steichen been there for a while. Shane Steichen has imposed his, and kind of started to develop himself over there. Whereas with Coach Vrabel, he had been a Patriot, but he's only been with the organization. He's just joined the organization or rejoined the organization. And they were inheriting a very bizarre situation where after not having to do a new coaching search for over 2 decades, they're doing one off of one season. And that created, I know, some discord some tension in coaching searches where they were like, oh, wow, maybe I'm not going to, if I take that job as my first head coaching job, maybe I'm not going to get the patience from Bob Kraft that I thought that I would. if they're willing to move off this guy after just one season, after having Bill there for 2 decades. Newsflash: if you're going there as a new head coach, you're not Bill. You're not going to get treated like Bill. But
and Gerard Mayo was one of the worst coaches we've ever seen in the last 20 years.
Which, well, I'll mention what I was going to say about Gerard Mayo later on. But anyway, to go back to your actual question. So I don't actually know if there's a ton of ways that I can sort of, it kind of feels like apples to oranges to me in a little bit, because they're just where I see them as kind of being similar, I also see them as very different at the same time. In terms of, if you're just straight up asking me who I think has been better, then I think that I think there's been a strong argument for the Colts. And here's why I'll say that. I know a lot of people are going to lean toward the Patriots because they are thinking that Daniel Jones has been, a product of the team around him, or has been, elevated by the team around him. And I'll say what I say damn near every week. No bleep, Sherlock. If you're going to be good as an offense, if you're going to be strong as an offense, if you're going to take it to the next level, damn well you better expect that you're going to get help with the team around you. That's the whole damn point of being a good NFL offense. It's so the quarterback doesn't have to do everything. If the quarterback has to do everything, look where it gets you. It gets you Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, and guess what? He ain't playing right now. So
it also gets you Josh Allen in Buffalo, which yikes.
Josh Allen in Buffalo, and I'll mention something else. Indianapolis. Remember what happened the last time you had a quarterback who had no help around him? Andrew Luck.
Yep.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
So the biggest thing why I'm going to take the Patriots is that defensively, I just like them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not by much.
I don't think I even answered your question. My apologies. But
no. I think. Wait. So are you taking the Patriots or are you taking the Colts more so?
Yeah. Just to be clear, my point was because I trust their full operation more on offense. I'm taking the Colts. That was my point.
All right. That's totally fine. I'm slightly leaning the Patriots because. Guys, that Sauce Gardner move looks bad already. I know it's one game, and I'm not going to, I'm going to give him a few weeks. I don't even think he should have played, to be honest. I
don't know what that was about either.
He's like one guy that they shouldn't have played. Like, why make him go international on 4 days?
It's extremely rare for a guy to be ready to play in any sport, let alone the NFL, just a few days after being traded. And this was a game in another country. Like that might be, as much as I've credited the full operation for the Colts this year, that might be the single worst move that I've seen them make all season.
Yeah, I will say it's been surprising how many of the trade deadline moves are just immediately jumping in. That's not normal. Minus Quinn Williams, who got 2 bye weeks back to back. Congrats. That's amazing that we don't get to see you for 2 weeks.
Okay, we'll get a third next week.
Yeah, true. It's the Raiders. By the way, that game's on Monday Night Football. By the way,
hopefully he'll get 5 in January.
he probably will. Anyway, so I'm surprised by how many of them have played. I don't think Sauce should have played. He's already played an international game already, by the way, in London. I think it was London, yeah. So I don't think it was really necessary. But yeah, it was bad. And he got burnt on a couple pretty big plays. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's just like, that's my biggest thing. And again, as Brandon, as you always mention with the Colts, it's mostly Jonathan Taylor with that offense, and we've said it every week. But for me, it's the Patriots because that Colts defense, that move for Sauce Gardner clearly doesn't move the needle much, if at all.
And it's just a big yikes because of the F them picks mentality. You gave away 2 firsts for him.
Yeah.
So that's automatically telling you that they're telling me that you're going all in on this season, basically going for broke. And that's it. So the worst part about the whole thing is you're going all in on that. And I understand you want to be successful, but F them picks works for the Rams, but the Rams have also built a team to where their star players at at most of the positions. That's not the case in Indy. And the thing is, F them picks is a strategy that works very rarely. It worked for the Rams. I don't think it's going to work for Indy. So I look at it and I'm nervous with it. And again, you know why? Because this is also, Daniel Jones's breakout year. But he's still like he hasn't when he's gotten pressure in his face like he did today. Listen, today was not with the Colts won the game. It wasn't him though, because they got a lot of pressure on him. Falcons, I think, sacked him 6 times. They got a lot of pressure. He couldn't do anything. He's reminding me right now, based off this game, because the whole rest of the year he didn't really face a ton of pressure, but when he did, which was the Steelers game last week and the Falcons game this week, and the Falcons have been a good defense this year despite their offense being crap, and the Steelers defense came alive last week. So in the games where he's faced pressure, he's been bad. He reminds me of last year's Sam Darnold, where it's going to be where Sam Darnold has a great offense, like he did in Minnesota, but they're going to give a lot of credit to the quarterback because this is a quarterback who historically has not been good and is having a good year. So a lot of people are going to heap the praise onto him rather than the team that's really built around him. Now, what scares me is Indy's O-line was supposed to be good, because they've supposedly, or they're supposed to be a top 10 line every year. That line is not good at all, which is
not only have they been bad in pressure situations, the false starts are terrible.
Yeah, the penalties are bad too. They're racking up a lot of penalties. So they're operate now from top to bottom. I think Indy is a very smart team, and I think that they're very, very good with kind of the players that they have around them. And I think their collection of talent is slightly better than the Patriots. But push comes to shove, who do I want? Your offense has to be balanced. New England's had a pretty much, a balanced offense this year, and Indy kind of has too, but the Patriots don't ask Drake May to do more. Not all the time, but 9 times out of 10, they don't ask Drake May to do more than what's required, but he can because we've seen it. When Daniel Jones is asked to do more than what's required, historically and even this year, he hasn't done it. So it's one of those things where I'm nervous when I watch Indy because Daniel Jones hasn't shown me enough yet for me to believe in him to be the guy to step up because like I said too, the 2 games that Jonathan Taylor got shut down for the most part, he was non-existent, Daniel Jones. And the offensive line. They need Jonathan Taylor like they need air to breathe. He is their offense. And that's not Tyler Warren is great, don't get me wrong. But if he's not open, then no one's open. And then the offense struggles mightily. And then it's like, hey, Jonathan Taylor, go rush for 300 yards and save us. And that's been a lot of their season where it's been like, hey, if Jonathan Taylor goes over 110, 120, you'll win. If you keep him under 100, the other team will probably win. So it's scary just because I like how Drake May is a better distributor of the football than Daniel Jones. He's had a better season than Daniel Jones. And with arguably a lesser talented wide receiver room and tight end.
It's a lesser talented roster top to bottom.
Yeah. And so, Drake May is doing more with less this year. But the thing is, today was an encouraging sign from Henderson, from him. Because
they just need to play him more. They just need to play him more. That's it. They need to trust
him. And you know what's funny? If they trust him, that offense is going to find another gear.
It did today.
That's what it did today against the Bucks. We said, hey, the Bucks would be their first real test. And what they do? They took it to the Bucks for 4 quarters. They took it to them. So, that was really good, just tough football being played today by New England. So, New England this year has proven more to me than the Colts have, because we always said with the Colts, we knew years ago when Jonathan Taylor got drafted, we knew how good he was. We've always known how good he was. It was just the injuries that started to pile up, and people kind of forgot about him. But it's like, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Jonathan Taylor's having a great year." I'm like, "Yeah, because it's Jonathan Taylor. When he's healthy, this is who he is." Like that doesn't surprise me. That
and when he has the offensive line, because we've seen that how much that matters when it comes to a running game.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. From a passing offensive line standpoint, they're not good, but running, they're the best.
Run blocking, they're good. But the thing is, when you get to a playoff game, right? You need to be able to at some point throw the ball. You have to at some point throw the ball. They can't ask Jonathan Taylor to run 25, 30 times in a playoff game because they're not going to win. You're not going to. The teams are going to shut it down, and all of a sudden, if you need Daniel Jones to drop back, 35 times in that game, you're going to lose. You're not going to win that game. And that's what scares me about Indy. And their defense, too, like we've been saying, their secondary is garbage. Really, and now with DeForest Buckner, I think, being out, that doesn't help.
He's on IR, so minimum 4 weeks.
So, yeah. So, I'm scared. Like, Indy is winning, yeah, but last week was really bad against the Steelers. And today, coulda, woulda, shoulda, yeah, you still won the game, but you should have lost to Atlanta. Atlanta's just incompetent. You should have lost to Atlanta. And what the Patriots do, like the Patriots never look like they're out of a game. The Colts have looked like they're out. They've been out of several games this year, and the thing is, they've beaten up on the teams that they should have. But against the teams that have kind of given them a fight, they haven't looked good. They've won, but they haven't looked good. So I think overall, and also there's another thing too. Shane Steichen's been around, but so has Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is used to taking rosters with very little talent on it, or at least a couple stars, but very little talent as a whole, and turning it into an AFC Championship game, team.
A la Tennessee.
Yeah, and he did it in Tennessee, and he did it with a quarterback that was half the quarterback Drake May is. So now, as much as I love Shane Steichen. And Steichen's been there before, in Philly. But Shane Steichen, this is a head coaching job where he's finally putting it all together. I trust the wisdom and experience of Vrabel more than and the head coaching experience of Vrabel, and how that team is kind of seems like they're playing for each other. They're more connected. And their defense is better, like you said, Rob. I trust New England right now more than I trust Indy. Indy to me. My fraud meter every week is kind of creeping up, because I'm just like, if your offense is solely going to run through Jonathan Taylor, you're screwed. You have to be able to throw the ball at some point. And I mean, Daniel Jones, I don't think really has. I mean, he's had a good year. Don't get me wrong, but he's only had, 2 games where he threw over 300 yards, and one of them, was against the Broncos, a game that they probably should have lost, which they could have lost. And the other one was the game last week where he threw 3 picks against the Steelers. Yeah, he threw for 340 yards, but he threw 3 picks. You threw a lot. When they ask him not to do too much and they can complement it with Jonathan Taylor, it's a good offense. Only problem is playoff teams, they're wise to what you like to do. Playoff teams are much tougher than teams you're going to face during the regular season. And that's where I'm going to be like, kind of like, ooh, I don't like this from Indy, because Jonathan Taylor, if he gets stuffed, it's going to be a long day for Indy. I trust New England more right now.
Yes, Scoop, please go ahead.
Okay. So the main thing I want to bring up, and I'm not trying to start back and forth here, but the main thing I want to bring up, because at the very end there, you said they're not trying to ask him to do too much. They're not trying to, one thing or another. Or they can't try to ask him to do, or not trying to ask him to do too much, et cetera. But then they're going to ask him to do more. But you said one of the things you praised the Patriots for with Drake May is that they aren't trying to ask him to do too much. It sounds like you're saying that they're doing the same thing that Patriots are with Drake May. I'm trying to understand why that's different.
Well, here's why it's different, Scoop. It's because of just the fundamentals of what the teams are offensively.
Well,
Because we'll see what happens with Henderson in the next few weeks, right? We'll see what happens there. But the thing is, with the Colts, they have the running game, right, to lean on, where they don't need Daniel Jones to do a lot. And when Daniel Jones is forced to do a lot, it doesn't look very good. But on the flip side with the Patriots, it's Drake May's show. It's not.
Yeah.
It's his show. The running game hasn't been there at all this year, minus today. I mean, hell, they don't even know what their running back depth chart looks week to week, and he's still doing this. So that's kind of where the difference lies.
And the thing is, Drake May, like, I've seen him turn it up to another level when he has to go win a game with his arm. He has to get them down the field. Like, I've seen Drake May do it more than I've seen Daniel Jones do it. That's why I'm not as confident in Jones doing it, because both teams are not asking their quarterback to do too much. But Drake May's doing more with less right now than Daniel Jones is. That's kind of where...
Could I argue that part of the reason why you haven't seen Daniel Jones do it as much, they haven't had as many close games at different times. There's been times where the games have been in enough, they've not been in doubt as often as they were with, Drake May. So, and if you're looking at it from that vantage point, couldn't that be a point in Daniel Jones' favor?
I mean, yeah, but the reason why I knock it is because, like we've said, the running game has been the biggest reason. Like, Jonathan Taylor has been the reason why they're putting up a ton of points. Like, a lot of it with Daniel Jones is like, he's not making mistakes just because they're asking Jonathan Taylor to pretty much carry the load on that offense, and then he's ripping off 70, 80-yard touchdown runs, and then they're up by 3 scores halfway through the game because he's just lighting it up. They don't need him.
Scoop, let me ask you this question. And you can say yes if you agree, and you can say no or whatever. I don't.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Because you could say yes, they could, or whatever. It's totally fine. Yeah. But I guess the point that we're trying to make, and this is kind of the colossal thing here. If the Colts don't have Jonathan Taylor, let's just say, God forbid, injury, whatever.
Yeah.
From week 1, let's say he's just not there. Do you think this team still makes the playoffs?
No, but wouldn't you also say that about literally any team with a great running back?
Well, okay.
Wouldn't you say that last year about the... I'm sorry to say this, but wouldn't you say that last year about the Eagles without Saquon?
Oh, no, I agree. But the difference is that with Philly, if Saquon wasn't there, they'd still be a contender.
The defense was really
amazing.
good.
The defense, and again, that was just the first thing. My general point in saying that was just that, most teams without a great running back, if you don't have them, you're significantly less productive or accomplishing less.
100%.
I mean, you're a Hawks fan. I mean, I think back to days when y'all had beast mode.
The defense won those Super Bowls, though.
No. I'm not. Again, I'm not saying it's the same exact situation, because like you guys said, this is not a defense that was as loaded by any stretch of the imagination. And I am acknowledging the fact that point of the defenses is missing in the examples I provided. It's just,
which is totally fair, because they're definitely the top 2 exampple of this by far.
I'm looking at it as I'm not seeing the same argument to knock the team or to knock Jones, for example, as yes, I agree that sometimes he's going to get more credit than he deserves for this team being successful offensively, because 1, that's how it is with quarterbacks, and 2, because it's the great story of his comeback or whatever the case may be. But let's also look at Shane Steichen, and I'm not talking about Philly. I'm talking about going back to his times with going back to his time with I'm trying to remember where he was before. I think it was the Chargers. But this is how he. No pun intended. This is how he runs. This is how he how he does his offense. So, I think that you'd have to expect that whether it's Taylor, whether it's somebody else, I think you'd have to expect that it's going to be a pretty 50-50 type offense most of the time, rather than it being a more Kansas City type offense where they put the ball in the quarterback's, or a Pittsburgh type offense where they put the ball in the quarterback's hands 40 times a game. Like I don't think that was ever going to be what he was asked to do. And is he going to probably have the ball in his hands more a couple times during the postseason when he goes up against teams? If he goes up against teams that have good box stuffing, offenses, or defenses. Hello, but I think you can make But another example I'll give: he's been a top 2 quarterback or top 3 quarterback against the blitz most of the season. So looking at that metric as well, even if they do somehow find a way to stop one side or the other, that helps with it being a balanced offense. I could be able to make the argument that if they get to the passer with Drake May, I trust them to do less with Trayvon, whatever his name is.
Henderson,
his name is Henderson. That's what I thought. Trayvon Henderson than I do with them blitzing against Daniel Jones. So I think that obviously a lot of really solid points, but I also think there's counterpoints to a good amount of that as well.
Oh no, and of course I think part of it, and Brandon, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think part of it for me personally is the fact that we haven't seen Daniel Jones. Our perception of Daniel Jones going into this season was, oh my God, this is going to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been. But I think part of the reason we feel the way we do with the Colts right now is because that taste isn't like fully out of our mouths yet. And with Drake May, it's like he was just a rookie. He was really young, and it's like that's part of it as well that I can say is kind of tough with this.
That's fair. And I think where I'm coming from is more of like he was with the Giants. He had absolutely nothing working for him. Now he's in a semi-competent organization with a semi-competent offensive head coach who I've seen work with quarterbacks well before, who I've seen work in some, So I think I'm just coming at it from a different angle where it's like, okay, yeah, we've seen mostly crap from him, but the guy was cooking mud pies before, out of a river before that hadn't been properly cleaned in 6 years. And now he's actually getting the chance to actually work with some actual edible ingredients now.
I'm sorry that I interrupted you in the middle of that analogy, but that was amazing. That already was amazing halfway through. That was good. But the one thing we can agree with you on, Scoop, and honestly, I mean, you called it a few weeks back, right? And we were getting there. But I don't think even you or any of us expected this.
I know where you're going with this already.
Bills. Yep. Yes. But again, Brandon, like we are out. Like Scoop was out a few weeks ago. This against Miami, we're done. Like this, we can't do it anymore. Like it's done.
We can't beat this dead horse. I'm done with Buffalo. I don't care what the record is. I don't care about oh my God, it's Josh Allen. I don't care. I do not care. They just like Mike Tomlin says, we do not care. So quite literally, the three of us, that's what it is. We do not care.
And Scoop was there 3 weeks ago.
It was true because and the thing is, we were starting to get there, but Scoop was right to be there already. Like I think
today proves, Scoop, that you were right to be there 3-4 weeks ago without any question. But on the New England game,
it's fair.
On the New England game, you said
most people don't usually expect me to be the first person to somewhere. So
no, but seriously, on that New England game on Sunday night, you were like hitting that panic button, and throughout the weeks, we were getting there. I can't believe we're saying this after Miami game, but we're there. We are all there.
It's and I'll add this from the Miami side of things. I think that I don't think he was going to get moved off before the end of the season, but if there was ever a game that Coach McDaniel could point at and say, he has reason to get one more season, this I think is going to be one of the games that he points to. If he has any hope of a saving grace of getting one more season to try and buy time in Miami. I think this is going to be a game that gets pointed to on that.
You asked. I'm going to do a quick side topic. Scoop asked this question earlier while we were hanging out watching the early window.
I know what you're going to say already.
Yeah. Can anyone help us? Does Scoop actually look like Mike McDaniel? I kind of see it, but I really don't.
I don't see it. So here's what I will say. So this was at the network where I do where Brandon and I do What's the Scoop. This is just something that originated really over there. I will say, so these are new glasses. I got these in June or July. The old glasses that I had them before this, I saw it more with those.
Yeah,
also I saw
okay.
Yeah, and because they were more rectangular. My hairstyle is different than it used to be. So that also is some of it, like why it's not as visible now. So I saw it a little bit more before that. But even so, like they used to say, like I was like it was like the spitting image, and I was like, I'm not seeing this at all. Like
I don't think it's spitting.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a twin thing. No
like, they were making it sound like it was almost like carbon copy type, and I was like, y'all are, I don't know what y'all are on, but it became a funny thing where they would, every time it would go on one of their shows, they would say that they would put my name tag as in the beginning as a joke. They'd put my name tag as Coach McDaniel. And it just, I think the closest thing that I could say that I can come to him is that it takes me 25 minutes to get out a sentence. But it's when it comes to certain, I almost see it more with certain like mannerisms more than actual physical appearance.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I just wanted to bring it up to our audience because I've been thinking about it for a while.
If I squint hard enough, I see it. If I go like this, I see it.
Like, if you close your eyes,
I mean,
I couldn't tell. Your eyes looked legitimately closed there.
No, yeah, that's just because my eyes are very kind of closed anyway. Normally,
okay.
But
I got you.
This is me squinting.
Yeah, so, I got you now.
So, but I can technically see it. Yes, show us the good SNF graphic for next week.
Wait, remind me, who is Sunday Night Football next week?
It's Lions and Eagles, the one we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
It's actually Lions and Eagles?
Yep.
Yes, in Philly. Yeah.
Finally.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get the game. We get the game that we should have gotten week 1.
But and here's what's crazy. I might not actually be on next weekend.
Oh, dang it! No.
Sunday's my mother's birthday.
Oh my god!
Well, wait. We're gonna get you Monday. Are we gonna get you Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Because you know what Monday is? It's Cowboys Raiders.
Cowboys Raiders
next Monday.
Okay. Does anyone have time travel and we can go back about 35 years to when that game would have been interesting?
When that game mattered. Yeah. God, man.
I'm serious. Why isn't the Seahawks game a primetime game? Why is a primetime game Patriots Jets on Thursday? And then obviously your guys' Eagles, and then Sunday, and let's not forget the Madrid game is Commanders versus Dolphins, not because it's at Madrid, but
Commanders versus Dolphins
in Madrid next Sunday morning.
Do we hate Spain for some reason?
Do we hate Europe?
I don't know. I don't know.
If anybody from Europe is watching, I promise this is not our version of football at its best. What
our version of football was at its best? That Colts game. That's their best international game this year. That was great.
To quote the so-called announcer from tonight, when we're sending our football teams, we're not sending our best.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into this discussion until the offseason. But in a couple years, we're going to have an international game all 17 weeks of the season.
I will not watch any of them. I will not.
And by the way, it's going to be. I think it's going to be every single team. So your Eagles will have one international game.
I'm sure I'll watch I'm sure I'll watch one or a couple of them. I damn sure am not waking up for no 6:30 game in which I have no rooting interest.
Yeah, Rob.
This is the only one where I'm like, Commanders Dolphins is the only one where I'm like, do I really have to wake up for this?
We're gonna watch
No,
Marcus.
you haven't had to at all.
That is true, but I probably will anyway.
Like really, your marquee match. I mean, listen, I know that in their mind they had Jaden Daniels picked for the Commanders.
Well, that and good
But-
Tua, and that was.
like-
By the way, when we saw that game in April, we got excited for it. It was like, oh, that's gonna be good, and then obviously it's been.
The thing is, I didn't know it was gonna be good
Can I-
because the Dolphins.
I got some news to break if you don't mind.
Oh yes, please do.
So I know this is football, but on the baseball side of things, just real quick, Japanese starting pitcher Tetsuya Imai, which was considered the other big Japanese player aside from Murakami this offseason, will officially be posted, allowing MLB teams to sign him per the Cosmopolitan. 27 career best 1.92 ERA this year with a WHIP of 0.89.
Damn. I even said damn after the earned run or the ERA.
It's believed that he can receive over $200 million this offseason.
Woo. Woo.
So that's
Can you read that whip again? What's that whip again?
So the whip is 0.89.
Yeah,
Jesus
ridiculous.
Christ. Oh my
Ridiculous.
This is as a start. Let me just be clear. This is as a starting pitcher.
Yep. Yeah.
That's insane. That's going to translate well to Major League Baseball. That's a good prelude because we're going to do some MLB stuff per Scoop's request in a little bit because we have a lot of insane MLB stuff.
That's. I mean, Brandon, you were asking me if there's any pitchers I'd go after this offseason for the Yankees.
Yeah, there's one.
That's my guy. Give me Imai right now.
I remember last
get all the great Japanese players in the MLB. We love it. It's great.
And the last,
It's great.
remember,
Or at least keep them away from freaking Los Angeles.
and everybody remembers.
Good luck with that.
Well, everybody remembers the last time the Yankees got a Japanese pitcher. It's Masahiro Tanaka.
I was trying to think for a second. I was like, was it Tanaka or is there somebody I'm forgetting since then?
No,
I'll do this in 10 seconds. But I was in orchestra when that happened. My phone started going crazy, and I literally jumped out of my seat with my freaking violin on my neck, and people were so confused. And I just straight up, I was like, I had to apologize to everybody, but I'll never forget that moment because I was so freaking excited that we signed him.
I don't think I've ever had a moment throughout my schooling life where I got a notification and jumped out of my seat.
The only other notification I remember getting in school was a bad one. It was when Robbie Cano signed with the Mariners.
Oh yeah,
and I remember I was so pissed off.
And by the way, that deal didn't really work out that well. I'm going to be real.
No,
It's Brian Cashman ended up looking smart for letting him walk.
I think the biggest memory I have, I think it was high school when Johnny Manziel got cut. I think.
Yeah.
I think when he got cut from Cleveland, because keep in mind he was still under that first round rookie contract when they.
Yeah,
cut
he
him.
was. The reason why they cut him was because of his off the field crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he just didn't play well.
The only times I can remember.
No, I know he didn't play well, but you're typically not cutting a first round rookie QB early. You're typically not cutting him early if you don't have clause 2 going beyond his play. Typically, you're giving them a third or fourth chance to show what you drafted them to be. It was the off-field headaches that it was similarly with, may he rest in peace, with Dwayne Haskins. When Washington cut him, because otherwise, I mean, we see these teams time and again give extra time to guys just if it's just purely based off of on-field play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking of? The only times in school, while we were in school, not so much during school hours, but when we were in school, the only two that I can remember being excited for because it happened live on our TVs was I remember you, Scoop, freaking out over it as we all did when Devontae Smith got drafted. That was
I lost my freaking mind, and I was an Alabama fan, so that was doubly excited for that.
like when Devontae Smith got drafted, I even said that whole offseason, I'm like, give me Devontae Smith in Philadelphia.
I have a snap that I screenshotted of me saying that.
Like all my positive memories when it comes to like big alerts, like during our school years, which obviously includes high school, college too. Like
right, but I'm saying during school, like when you're in school.
I don't remember ever getting a big one like during school, like especially when I was younger. I don't remember like because the only other one was besides the Devontae Smith was the AJ Brown trade, and that happened a month before we graduated from college.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean that was during the draft. I was in my buddy's dorm watching the friggin' draft.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, we're trading with the Titans, and when I said it, everybody's like, oh yeah, like the Eagles are trading with the Titans, and I'm like, we're trading with the Titans for what? And so I was like, AJ Brown's going to Philadelphia. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, let's go.
Well, and then because we had 3 first-round picks that year, and we traded, I think it was the 18th pick, and then I was sitting there with bated breath, wondering who they were going to draft with him, and then I was like, Treylon Burks, and I'm thinking to myself, we just traded Treylon Burks for AJ Brown.
Yeah. That's basically what
I said out loud, how stupid are you, Tennessee?
By the way, I was excited for Treylon. That obviously didn't work out, although I think he signed with Denver's practice squad or something.
I know he worked out with them. I don't know if he actually signed with them or not.
I don't remember.
I do remember. I think when I don't know if it was during the offseason or not. I don't remember when it exactly. When the hell was it? Because the biggest news of my life in sports was when the Devils tried to sign Ilya Kovalchuk to that massive contract for like 17 years.
I do remember that. Yeah.
That was like that broke like the internet at the time because it was going to be the biggest contract in sports history at that time, and it was ridiculous.
Have I ever told my quote unquote arson judge story?
What?
You don't remember that tweet where it's John Heyman tweeted?
When he said he was going to the Giants when he clearly wasn't.
Yeah. Another 10-second bit here. I was on the phone with my dad, and I got that tweet. I started literally crying, and I had to hang up the phone with my dad because I saw that tweet, and I was breaking the hell down. And then
as you should.
Yeah. And then 5 or 6 minutes later, it comes out that was, that was all. I was thinking to myself, John Heyman needs to never be allowed on Twitter again.
Yeah.
Him and Diana Rossini in recent weeks.
They should just go get married and create their own alternate universe social media.
Oh my God,
that's the real fake news.
You're making me think of Truth Social now. I don't need to turn this back into Donald Trump. Okay, let's the other ones, I think, for my life, there are a couple of really weird ones. Like before I went to Europe, like back to my parents' home in Romania, I think it was the first time I went back was it the first time? Yeah. The first time I went back, the day before I left, LeBron signed his first deal with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I knew that was happening, and this is not through school, but I knew that was happening years earlier. Like we all kind of had the feeling. And then
I remember that because it was also so anticlimactic.
Yeah, because I think everyone knew that he was going there, and ending his career there, as he most likely will. We'll see, but most likely. And then the day or the night before I left from Romania as well, I think it might have been the second time, was Mayweather and Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
that fight. And I didn't watch that fight. I just saw the like scorecards that night. I didn't actually watch the fight. But I watched that fight back during COVID. It's a fun fight, but it was really gimmicky. Yeah, like that was kind of my whole thing with that.
The problem I have with fights is that the one I ever paid for, which I don't think my family even knew, so now they're finding out. But the only one I ever paid for, and probably know what I'm going to say, 2015 Mayweather Pacquiao.
Yeah,
are you excited for them to potentially fight again?
I vowed that night to never buy another fight for the rest of my life.
Not a
because
bad idea.
because I had never bought one before, and I was like, I just did like I would
You
have
just spent
literally
$80 plus tax on this.
yeah, I could have literally watched the animals out in my backyard chase each other and gotten more entertainment and not had to spend a coin.
And mind you, with this, if this second one happens, it's 10+ years later. They're both old men, both
Older and
Yeah.
and
But-
didn't Pacquiao not even he spent time in government, didn't he? He didn't even do
He's
like
still in government,
and
technically.
with Pacquiao anyway. I mean, this is crazy. It was the first time we've touched boxing on this show, but with Pacquiao anyway, it's like the guy also, when he started to transition into more politics, he kind of his boxing kind of left him as he got older. Like punching power, not as strong. Like
yeah.
kind
And
of,
also hasn't Floyd still only been knocked down like one time in his career?
yeah, because all he does is run around the ring and hug his opponents. That's all he does.
Yeah, he does the sweet science, as they say. By the way, I'm so thankful the pay-per-view model is over. I hate the pay-per-view model. I'm so glad it's done. The UFC was the final domino. When that CBS Paramount Plus deal came down, I was like, give me all the fights on Paramount Plus, give me specific ones on CBS. Perfect. Fantastic. Wonderful. That White House card, live on CBS. They already confirmed it. Thank you. Fantastic.
Oh,
Do you know how much? You know how many views that's going to get on CBS? It's going to break CBS.
Oh yeah.
It's my
yeah.
god. But yeah. And then is that all of like my schooling stuff that I think
Like major
so.
sports stuff.
Major, I think so. In college, I stayed because I went to a commuter campus, right? So I was going and coming back all the time.
Where,
So
where did you go again? You went to UWarsh?
I went to University of Washington, but I went to the Bothell campus, so one of the kind of side campuses.
The what?
I went to the Bothell campus.
Bothell. Oh, okay.
Yes, I went to the Bothell campus, which was like it's a commuter school. Basically, I took
Yeah,
the bus there.
yeah. No, I got you.
And one of the things that I did was because I had homework that night, so I didn't watch any of the NBA games. But I told my dad, "Hey, I'm gonna beat the traffic because I'm gonna get on the bus later and I'm gonna watch the Zion lottery." Little did I know that was kind of a pointless lottery. All these years later, I remember being so excited for the Zion lottery. I sat and watched it,
Well, it's the reason why I was so excited about it because I wasn't a Pelicans fan at the time, but the reason I was so excited about that lottery is because all off season long. Keep in mind, I'm from New York and I went to college in New Jersey.
I know where you're going. We're saying it for the fourth time on this show.
All off season long, I had to deal with damn Knicks fans saying, "We're gonna get KD, we're gonna get Kyrie, we're gonna get Zion. You're gonna get RJ Barrett and like it."
By the way, RJ has been very good this year in Toronto. By the way, very good. I will say that.
And I'm so happy for him to do it in the same division as the Knicks.
That is true.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, that's fine. So let's get back to after that side topic. Let's get back to some NFL. I have two more things. I have two more things. Scoop, are you worried about Tampa at all? Like, do you have any? Overall concern?
I genuinely don't know what you're asking me. Like, am I worried about them? Like,
yeah,
from their standpoint, or am I worried about them as an Eagles fan?
No, are you worried about them just as a whole after today? Are you fine? Yeah, moving forward with Tampa.
But once again, you're asking from their standpoint.
Yes, from their standpoint.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what was confusing me.
We'll do Eagles standpoints tomorrow. Today's not the day.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure I was understanding you correctly.
Of course.
So I kind of will answer this similarly to how I answered the question when you asked me this. Could you ask me this last week? I think whenever it was
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Well, no. What I was going to say is when the Colts lost, you asked me this. Yeah. And what I'll say is pretty similar to what I said then. If this starts to become a pattern or a bit of a trajectory, it will. And some people might say they already see this being a little bit of that. Particularly, I mean, this loss was at home, which obviously is always a little bit more of an issue. And people will say, "Oh, this is similar," or not similar, but this is kind of in their minds similarly to when they lost in Detroit, because the only game they've played since then was the Saints. And congratulations, everybody's beating the Saints, it seems.
Not Carolina.
Not Carolina.
But yeah, I mean, congratulations. I mean, Carolina. Some people believe that they should be in the CFL. But
oh my God, the fact that people were hyping up Carolina after those 4 wins, I was like, slow down. We're not even talking about them on the show.
I'll say this, and this is probably the Bryce Young homer in me, but I was getting a little too excited about them during that period of time. So I'll fully acknowledge my role in that.
I will quickly say that Panthers podcast that left air and came back, please come on our show. We want to talk to you.
Oh.
I want those guys on our show. They literally left their show because they were like, this team sucks. And then they went on like a 4-game winning streak before they came back on air.
That worked out well.
Amazing.
But anyway, so here's what I'll say about the Bucs. I'm not entirely, I mean, if I'm going to do the 1-0 thing, I'd put them at like a 6 in terms of how concerned I am, because here's my thing with them. They've lost 3 games this year, but they've lost them to either very good or very hot or both teams. So that to me isn't the worst thing in the world. And the games have typically, only one of them was by more than 6 points. It was probably the one that you would at least expect to be more than 6 points, but it was, it was only, it was only one that was by that much. And they're going up now here's the thing. They're going up against the Bills next week in Buffalo. We have said plenty about the Bills. We've done whatever the opposite of waxing poetic about the Bills has been. But at the same time, this is a Tampa Bay team going up and playing in Buffalo next week. So I imagine weather's going to be a factor. Mm-hmm. And so that game, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a tough game for Tampa as well. Now, if they can't get momentum over the next 2 games at some point, whether it's against Buffalo or against LA, then suddenly they're in real trouble. But I'm going to give them 2 games to make me feel like they're the Tampa Bay that I thought they were.
That should have been a primetime game too. Oh my God,
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which Bills Bucs or Rams Bucs?
Bills Bucs
for next week. Yeah, Bills Bucs
and Rams Seahawks also, to be fair.
You could make a case that should have been the Monday game.
Yeah, they should have changed Thursday and Monday. I'm just double checking with Shane to make sure he's going to be here tomorrow, not only for the movie, but I also want to touch on Marshawn Kneeland and Paul Tagliabue.
Yeah.
But I want to do it. But I want to do it when everyone's here.
I agree with you. That's the reason why I specifically did not mention it while we were on air, at all, because I didn't want to not overstep, but I didn't want to miss time when we were going to make that. Bring that to light.
For some reason I missed it on Thursday because we were tired and whatever. But I was like, we should wait for the full crew to talk about it, because I think
I totally agree with you.
Very poignant.
Yeah, and I definitely imagine Shane's going to have some important points to make.
Yeah, and I have some QB stuff too that I want to get to, but we know Shane's the quarterback wizard here, so I think it'd be better to get to those tomorrow as well. Is there anything else from today's games? Anything else that kind of sticks out? That's kind of all I had in mind was to go through those.
The one thing I will mention, and maybe people don't see it as significant, how stupid do you have to be Daron Payne and just not even
Javon Kinlaw punched a ref today too.
Yeah.
Did you not see the ref punch?
Yeah.
No, I did. That was gonna be the next thing that I was gonna mention. Dan Quinn has a reputation as being a no-nonsense coach. How do you have that level of undiscipline in your... Now, again, I understand these are autonomous individuals and he can only do so much, and once they get out on the field, it's on them. I completely understand that, and I'm not laying this at Dan Quinn's feet, but my God, it's like the more things change, the more they stay the same with this team. I can remember being 12, 13 years old, seeing this undisciplined team back when they were still the Redskins, and it's just like,
Yeah.
it's like they have a new freaking owner now, for crying out loud. It's like is the culture like not in any way cleaned up from what it was over a decade ago? My God.
I think the
just
culture's
so
cleaned
stupid.
up. I think there's a lot of obviously frustration with what's going on there this season. I think that was more what it stemmed from. But I will say, like, I still think the corners are too handsy. I said this last year. The pass interference, they're not as prevalent this year.
What level of frustrated do you have to be on an NFL field to go and try and knock somebody's teeth out?
Like
I don't know.
And you know what it is too? It's like when what is it?
Maybe use that anger to make a tackle. Maybe you'd actually be in the league.
Like
good. Shane will be here tomorrow. I just wanted to make
sure.
I just want to double check because I know we're doing the Nealon stuff. So
you know what I'm thinking of right now? I guess
which is going to be super important. So I just wanted to make sure Shane was here.
I'm trying to think right now of like, how they say like when there's like a saying that goes like when things get bad they're gonna get worse, more or less.
Before they get better, they're gonna get worse before they get better.
I thought it was gonna be when it rains it pours.
That's another saying.
Good. That's a good saying too.
That's another one.
Last week we saw the incompetence of this entire coaching staff to not pull the starters off the field in the fourth quarter, and that's how Jaden Daniels.
Oh my God!
That's what ruined it there.
That's literally one of the dumbest things I've ever seen on an NFL field.
And then it's like, this week, you have guys that listen, they have to control themselves, but also the coaching staff has, the personalities on your team too. So it's like you got to be able to say to these guys like, hey, like cut the crap. But I look at this, Commanders team, and then this whole era that they're going through right now, the whole new era under, and everybody knows how I feel about Josh Harris. I hate that guy.
Devil's owner.
I was gonna say I don't. I was gonna say I actually don't, but I'm sorry.
Devils. Is it Devils, Sixers, and Washington?
Devils, Sixers, Washington. And I think is there one more? I could be wrong.
There's probably some MLS team and NWSL team in there somewhere.
He has stake in other teams, but he is the pretty much Sixers, Devils, and Washington. No surprise. Look where all three franchises are. The Devils are he's mostly hands off with the Devils, but the thing is when he has his 2 cents, when he opens his mouth, I don't like him. But when it comes to the Commanders, it's kind of like a reap what you sow kind of thing. A lot of these guys that are either getting in trouble or getting hurt or what have you, they're all older players. They're all guys who've been here, they were here part of last year's successful team. But it's like, but you cannot run it back essentially with 95% of the same roster when you already know that this is the oldest roster, I think, or maybe second oldest roster in the NFL.
I think it's second, yeah.
And so that's just not a winning formula off the bat. Like they didn't do anything as a contender. We're looking at the problems that this team has. As a contender, you cannot just be content to run it back with what you have. Unless those guys are in their prime, that's okay. But you can't be content to run it back with what you have, and all these guys are on the wrong side of 30, or their play is declining. You cannot be doing that. And and now things are the floodgates are really opening. Now Jaden Daniels is hurt. Now your players are getting unruly. Now, it's a tough season for the entire franchise because your record's not great. You're basically going to miss the playoffs. You should at this point. Things are just going from bad to worse when it comes to Washington, and it's like, they're saying, the whole thing was with Jaden Daniels. Oh yeah, he's on the IR. He'll be quote unquote back in 4 weeks, but at that point,
it's not as much 4 weeks as much as by the way, he didn't get surgery because he was doing second opinions. Do you want to hear what my physical therapist said about the Jaden Daniels injury?
Yeah, go ahead.
He told me about what the surgery is, and it's really fucking freaky. So essentially, with the elbow, and how it so you have how like your joint, like where your elbow is, it kind of like keeps it in place. It kind of makes sure it's in place. So basically that part of it like completely busted. The whole thing like completely busted essentially. So that joint like completely cracked open essentially is the gist. And to heal it, you have to get surgery and you have to get like pins and needles on it to keep that joint and the elbow together.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, that's not. So you're basically becoming Frankenstein's monster at that point.
Yeah. And again, I'm not a physical therapist, so I don't think I explained that well. But basically, the whole elbow just popped out of that joint.
But this is what I said. Remember both of you, but especially you, Rob. You remember what I said last year about Jayden Daniels? If he continues to be a running quarterback, continues to try to extend plays, and he's not built to sustain like a lot of hits. It's just his build, and. I said it last year.
That was also a very freak injury. I will say that was very freak.
But any quarterback getting taken down from behind or from the side is going to be an awkward landing. But it's but the thing is, this year already he's taken a lot of hits before this. It's it's with the knee injury before this, like
the hamstring.
This is already a problem. He's starting to rack up some significant injuries. This isn't like a finger or like a shoulder, just a sore shoulder. Like, no, these are like significant injuries, and I fear for him because that offensive line is not good, and that like Scoop was saying for a couple weeks now, we are heading down like RG3 territory where he's got all the talent in the world, but there's no offensive line. They're not trying to make the roster that much better, and you're not giving him a real chance to succeed by doing this. It's the same reason why Andrew Luck retired early. The same reason why RG3 had to basically be relegated to a backup role because his body just broke down to the point where he could not physically be a starting quarterback anymore. You're running the risk because this is a running quarterback who's got a ton of potential. This is why coming out of college, people always say he is the one coming out of college from last year. That, if any team that gets him, we even said that, hey, last year that Washington really, really overachieved. He was a big part of it. He had one of the greatest rookie seasons for a quarterback ever. All these different things.
It was the greatest. But it was insane.
But what bothers me about all of this is you cannot. This is. Like I was saying before, you cannot run it back with a roster this old. You cannot give him nothing. You gave him Laremy Tunsil, but what else did you give him? You gave him nothing else on that line at all. You didn't give him. You gave him. You got rid of his best running back, which was Brian Robinson Jr., who you probably could have kept. He wasn't going to be expensive. You probably should have kept or found some way to keep him. But you don't. So there's not much of a running game. They do have a couple good, young running backs, whatever, but not ones that you would say are going to be like ones that you're going to be like, oh wow, this guy, like a Josh Jacobs, a Saquon, a Gibbs, someone like that. And the receivers, Terry McLaurin is getting older. He's getting hurt a lot. Debo is just slow and old. Zach Ertz is still all right, but you can't rely on an old Zach Ertz to try to bolster your passing offense. Because it did not for nothing. They relied on him a lot last year, and it worked. It's not working that well this year. And then of course their defense, just like last year, is a bottom 5 defense in the NFL. It's not going to work, and Jayden Daniels is going to suffer because of it. So it's. What's usually the problem? What's crazy is Dan Quinn is supposed to be a defensive head coach. So why is your defense so ridiculously bad?
Why is the secondary? Well, this was more last year, but why is the secondary always getting pass interference calls?
Yeah, why? Where's the technique? You're supposed to be a defensive head coach. Where's the where is the emphasis on technique? Where is the emphasis on putting these players in the right positions to succeed? talk to your DC. Like, someone's got to do something, because you can't be a defensive head coach and your defense sucks. Because if that's the case, it's a reflection on who you are as a head coach, which right now he's not a good one. So it's just bad in Washington all the way around right now.
Okay, a couple things. We'll talk more about the Giants tomorrow. The Giants are 0-4 this season in games where they led by at least 10 points on the road. Sorry, Giants fans. It gets worse. Against the Cowboys, Broncos, and Bears, the Giants had a, respectively, 92.3%, 99.3%, and 96.9% chance of winning late in the fourth quarter. They lost all of them. The odds of that happening are 1 in 60,000. Just awful. And as we always do on this show, Scoop's going to get some entertainment out of this. It's time for some Mike McDaniel-isms. Because he also said some more weird shit. Again, excuse the language, but he did. He, on the first play of the game today, which didn't end up mattering, he got a flag, which I think was a false start, and then he proceeded to call a timeout, and he said it was a quote-unquote information gathering session.
Huh?
Should you have done the information gathering before the game started? You called that out right immediately before the game started.
Isn't that what practice is called during the week? Isn't that what it is? Isn't that what watching film is about? Isn't that what you do as a football team? The very fundamental things that you do from the time you're basically, in middle school on? Oh, my God, man. Oh, God.
Here's Mike McDaniel's strategy on third down. This is what he told Tua to do today.
Oh, God.
I'm going to see if I can properly play this. I apologize. Hold on.
I was actually really pumped. I told Tua on some third down calls to let it rip down the field and kind of operate it as an opportunity ball to, act as a punt. Still, with all that, we ended up in the plus. So, by and large, we just executed on the things that we set out to execute.
He basically told Tua on third down to throw arm punts.
So basically, the strategy for the Dolphins today was fucking Jalen Waddle's down there somewhere. That was that the strategy? Oh my God!
He literally said he told Tua to throw some punts.
Oh my God! I mean, that's what the touchdown pass that he threw to Waddle looked like in the back of the end zone. He just him as high and as far as he could. Oh my God!
Scoop! You sound like an eagle when you laugh, and I love it. It's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm gonna replay this.
I told Tua on some third down calls to let it rip down the field and kind of operate it as an opportunity ball to, act as a punt.
Act as a punt. This guy's a head coach in the NFL.
It's one of the reasons why we've said since late 2 seasons ago, but then especially early last year, that Mike McDaniel is not the offensive genius you might think he is. He's not.
Well, I'll make a suggestion here. What I'm wondering is he one of those types of people, like we all went to college or high school or whatever with these types of people, where they're really good at the tactical, they're very intelligent when it comes to books and things of that nature, but they just can't convey information worth a damn.
You can't do that by being a head coach in the NFL. You have to convey information.
I'm not saying it works here. I'm just saying I don't think it's entirely possible. I don't think it's out of the normal possibility that his knowledge is just incongruent with his speech. I think that just because he's apparently not good on a microphone, that doesn't necessarily because clearly they had to have seen some. I know it's the Dolphins, but they clearly had to have seen something, and the coaching staff in San Francisco clearly had to have seen. I mean, this guy's been around. This guy was on a staff. I think he was on a Cleveland staff. He was on the staff in San Francisco,
Washington, I believe as well. Yeah,
Washington. So clearly, plenty of franchises have seen something in this guy's intellect. It's clearly not coming across when it comes to him commanding a room, but that's what my guess is. I mean, you guys know me. I sometimes have trouble getting a sentence out, but that's I
had trouble today doing it. So
yeah, I wonder if that's what's at play here. Is just for whatever reason he just is not good at getting his information out when it comes to press conferences. Articulating it when it comes to press conferences. But I think that I would steer clear. I at least personally steer clear of using that as a reflection of his actual football IQ, because clearly he's got something of it in a significant manner to have that many organizations take a chance on.
Well, no, I agree. Yeah. But I also think it's funny that he basically told the media, "Hey, Tua, throw some punts."
Well,
what are we doing?
No, I totally agree. But I see people going as so far as to say that he's dumb, for lack of a better way of putting it. And
no, I don't think he's dumb from a football standpoint.
That was my only point. Is that I wholeheartedly disagree with.
I'm just saying. Like, I guess the framework is kind of like it's kind of like this. It's kind of like with NBA players. You're like, oh, this NBA player is awful. Well, he's awful in NBA standards, not in the standards of like the general population. Now, that being said, it's not as similar as McDaniel, because you were right. I mean, hell, he's an NFL head coach for a reason. He's been there for a long time. It's not exactly the perfect comparison.
I would also say not only is he a coach for a reason, he's been hired by damn near a quarter of the league. Like it's there's bad owners out there. There's bad GMs out there. If a quarter of the league is hiring you and they're in those interview rooms and they're all making the same decision to bring you in, at least as an OC, there are plenty of coaches who are great OCs who just aren't cut out to be head coaches. And that's my feeling, is that's what I'm guessing he's going to like. Pat Shurmur is a great example of this, who can be somebody who can be a very well regarded and very well respected offensive coach, but as a head coach just was not built for the transition.
Yeah, I mean, again, Mike McDaniel will be a hot commodity OC next year, because if he gets fired,
Philly. I guess.
Philly. Yes, Philly. Yes.
I guess like Shane and I, like both of us, I guess, looking at it, because we're like big on play calling. Like, I don't like McDaniel's play calling. I never did. I like to, because, and especially when the weather gets cold and Miami just does not adjust. Like, that's another problem with him, is that
it was raining today in Miami, but it wasn't like.
Yeah, but I was about to ask, like, does it actually even get cold in Miami? I was about to ask.
Not really. I mean, by the way, it does rain in Miami like that, and they can handle that.
Yeah, they can handle rain. It's just whenever, like, but the problem is when it drops below 60 and when they get to traveling on the road late in the season, they just don't, like, offensively. Their scheme doesn't. It just doesn't change. Their identity doesn't change, and that's a reflection of him. That's why I'm saying, like, when it comes to him, I don't like him. I like guys who can adjust. He can't. Kyle Shanahan can't. Like, those are kind of guys where it's like, yeah, they keep getting jobs because I think they are smart enough to win the games that they should. But, like, when push comes to shove, these guys can't win the big game. Like, these guys they can't win games where they need to adjust. And that's my big problem. It's like, a lot of guys get a lot of, chance. Like, look at how many chances Raheem Morris gets. Like, I think he's a good coordinator. I don't think he's a good head coach. I don't know why he even got the Falcons job to begin with.
Dude, he's going to keep the Falcons job by the way they're playing, because they're just finding ways to stay around.
Defensively,
the fact that so many people had so many people had Bill Belichick pegged for that job, and it went to freaking Raheem Morris, has to be like.
He would have never been a good fit for that job. That would have been awful.
No. I'm not saying they should have hired him. I was on the belief. I was saying, and getting a lot of flack for it. I was saying when the Patriots fired him that Bill Belichick's NFL career was over. But my point was just like that goes up there with like in terms of what people expected and what it ended up being. That's like Leicester City levels of an upset.
True. I can't believe this guy knows about Leicester City in the Premier League.
Well, it's because of Football Manager. Where it's like,
well,
that was in 2015.
The whole reason I got into the EPL in the first place was because of my boss in high school, and he was a big Leicester City fan.
Yeah. This guy has how many hours have you put into Football Manager now?
I don't know now, and I'm afraid to look.
Please look.
It's okay.
By the way, so the story about the Football Manager thing, because we're basically done with football stuff now, or NFL stuff now. So
yeah,
basically,
we're talking two different football here.
Yeah, we're talking soccer. So basically, I started watching Football Manager videos like maybe a couple months back, and I realized, the new game is coming out. I kind of want to play it. Whatever. I haven't really gotten like deep into it as Scoop has because I'm still learning the ropes. But I think Scoop just looked at it. But basically I was because Scoop is like big into manager games. He plays OTP, which I didn't even know existed, franchise hockey, and I was like, dude, I know you're not into soccer, but I feel like you'll like Football Manager. So I was like, hey, try out Football Manager. And he did. And even though this guy doesn't really know that much about football or soccer, dude's massively addicted to Football Manager. Even though he's just like, I'm unemployed and I'm looking for jobs. And I'm telling, by the way, not only that, this guy won the Welsh Cup on the women's side, his first save, which is pretty impressive.
I still don't know how that happened.
Pretty amazing. By running the most basic 4-3-3 that I told him to run, which I was running Football Manager. Anyway,
yes, thank you
how many hours have you got on Football Manager right now?
I'm now struggling with how to find that information because it's always like right in my face, and now of course right when I'm looking for it, now I can't find it.
What was it last time you checked?
Like 35 hours.
Oh my god!
The game came out last week. Well, also you've been playing the beta too.
I will add this as well. I have a bad habit of leaving things running even when I'm not using them.
Yeah.
So I would put an asterisk on that 30, or what probably is now like 39. I would put an asterisk on that. It's definitely not every minute of that I'm being on. It's damn near close to that, but it's definitely not every single minute of that.
And meanwhile, while I'm also playing Football Manager, I'm doing like Outer Worlds or doing Assassin's Creed, whatever. And Brandon's out here playing amazing old NFL, NBA, whatever.
Oh, okay. I found it.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
So the recorded number, which, again, like I say, is not the actual number because, again, I've left this game open while I've done other shit. The recorded number is 53.3 hours.
That's awesome. This guy doesn't know much about football, yet he's getting massively addicted to Football Manager. Wait, what's your total hours on OOTP?
You want to talk about what I'm terrified to look at?
That one's got to be like 1 million hours. That one has to be literally.
Well, now, so I have this game through. I have OOTP, I have Football Manager through Steam. So that's where it's showing me how much I've played. I don't have OOTP through Steam, so I don't know if I can get that exact.
Wait, where do you have OOTP from?
It downloads right out of the website.
Oh, that's right. You might not have it, but OOTP is Baseball Manager. By the way, talk about what you did to my Mariners on OOTP Baseball Manager. It's amazing what you did to my Mariners.
Yeah. So Rob was like, just we were just shooting the shit about the game. And he was like, "Oh, do the Mariners, see what you can do." I started the season 17-33, so I started trading off some players. I added players, but they were like pretty like middle of the road players. I think the biggest name that I picked up was Brandon Lowe or Lau, whatever it is, from Tampa. Yeah.
Did you pick up a Yankee too?
If I did, it was a very niche one. It wasn't like a big name. I proceeded to go like I don't remember what it was. It was like 72-40 to finish the season and win the damn World Series over the Dodgers.
Oh my god!
I was like, this man has done a better. And by the way, the settings are realistic. Cheap owner, all this shit.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
which I'll plug him now. CBL Cardinals on Reddit does an incredible job of doing off-season saves for MLB for OOTP in particular. Like, I don't know how this guy sleeps. Like the amount of like he should be hired by the actual team that does OOTP because they had some changes and they're looking for new people. He's incredible. I've spoke to him a few times. Really nice guy. But so that was that whole thing. But I mean, when you get a chance to talk more sports with these guys, and shout out to Rob, who's been very patient with me as I ask like probably the dumbest soccer or football questions he's ever heard in his life.
Well, not entirely. I finally thought Scoop how to do loans. I'm mad that I just told him about loans right now. I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you about loans, which is like you have to loan people out who aren't playing, who are like really young.
Yeah, that was confusing the hell out of me because like I was seeing like U19 and U21.
Okay, no. I'm not okay. Wait, this is probably a conversation we're off the show, but whatever. We'll do it live. Yeah. Whatever, it's fine. Basically, so not your like second or third team, not your under 20s team. Your first team, the players that aren't playing who are like 19 to 21, you loan them out to give them more experience to different clubs, and then you get them back at the end of the year. I'm talking about your first.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that they get playing time while they wouldn't on your club.
Yeah, and that will bump up their potential and stuff. Yeah,
that makes sense because then I know that when they're 26, what they
26 is the cap. Yeah, so
and I
normally like to not loan them when they're like 24 or something because that's kind of when they're gonna unpeak. Yeah. By the way, we also had to teach Brandon and I had to teach Scoop what a corner kick was the other day. Set pieces.
What is
set piece?
A set
piece. Yeah. That I genuinely when I heard this term set piece, I thought that was their uniforms.
Oh my god!
That's a kit.
That's called a kit.
They call them kits.
Yeah. It's a British thing. Like soccer like cleats, like the cleats that they wear. It's not called the cleat.
What is it?
It's called a boot.
Yep.
A boot?
Called a boot.
Yeah, it's called a boot.
That's why like what is it? The striker with the most goals in the season wins a golden boot award.
Yeah, because it's the shoes.
Didn't know that. Yeah. It was so funny because when I was playing the game and they gave me an option to respond, and I don't know what it was. They gave me an option to respond, and it had the term "brilliant" used in a context in which I would never freaking use that term in my life, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is definitely a UK thing."
The thing that's why I ended up teaching Scoop about loans and finishing it up here is he's because he's unemployed. He's going on clubs with like no wage budget, no transfer budget, like almost no money. And he's like, why are people sending me offers even though I have no transfer budget? I'm like, dude, I don't know, but you have to get rid of players to get a transfer budget.
Yeah, well, and that's something else I've gotten used to now is I've gotten to better understand like when to like sell players off and like
about the transfer window, right?
Well, I know about the transfer window, but also the transfer score or whatever they call that service that it lets you use.
Yeah. I forgot the name of it.
Transfer room or something.
The transfer room is an amazing feature because it mirrors real life. That's what teams use in real life.
Yeah, so it kind of is like the trade block almost in other sports, and and I've been enjoying using, and I've gotten the hang of using that. When I'll also use it if like a guy is saying like I want to explore my options after the year. But also I'll use it if someone is like really at risk of getting injured, then I'll do that and I'll typically ask for a little bit more than their range is considered, and then I'll just negotiate down from there. But
last thing I'll say on that as well if you want to sign a player, make sure to do it before there's 6 months left on their contract. Because if there's 6 months left on their contract, they're free to sign elsewhere. So you got to sign them before that 6 month window.
Thank you. Yeah, that's never come up, and not even any of the videos have I watched. Does that come up?
Yeah,
They probably thought
that's
that
like
anybody-
a general football thing. You know,
Well,
Brandon,
I'm saying they probably thought if anybody was watching these videos, they know a damn thing about soccer, unlike me.
Brandon, we know as Chelsea fans how they spend like billions and billions of dollars on transfers.
Yeah.
And I the max transfer budget I've gotten playing as Chelsea my first year is $22 million,
Oh my god.
which is so stupid. Anyway, but Brandon, what are you playing recently? What are you doing? Are you still doing MVP baseball?
Yeah, and I pretty much almost never lose. I play that on MVP on the hardest difficulty because I mean you should. I have now I have won back-to-back World Series. I'm looking for my third. I'm looking for the three-peat.
And you play
Okay,
pretty much every game with the
Okay,
Yankees.
Dodgers.
Yeah, I pretty much
His roster is like the Dodgers.
Yeah,
by
my
the way.
roster now. Remember this is 2005. So because I've already played a couple seasons already, this is the 07 season. But my roster is, oh crap, I gotta pull it up. But basically, I still have Jeter in his prime, A-Rod in his prime. I have the only bad contract I have. Actually, I think I got rid of it in the offseason, but I had to eat some money. Was Jim Thome. I had him on contract.
Did you trade for his active contract, or did you sign him?
I traded for him. A lot.
Did you have Ichiro at one point?
I still have Ichiro.
He is Ichiro too.
I
love Ichiro.
I have Ichiro. I have Andrew, like all the guys that are from different teams that pretty much almost never played for the Yankees. Well, that did, but they're not known for being Yankees at that time. I have Ichiro. I have Andrew Jones in his prime. I have Jose Vidro, who was good for the Expos and Nationals.
I don't know who that is.
I have Carlos Guillen. I have
Okay, yeah, I know who that is.
I have Kevin Mensch, who was a decent outfielder for Texas back in the day.
Kevin who?
Kevin Mensch. I have who else do I have? I have Lance Berkman.
Nice.
So but the thing is, you have to. It's pretty realistic. You have to make trades and things like that to There's no I don't turn the salary cap off. Or not the salary cap. I don't turn that stuff. I make trades that are
The budgeting, yeah.
I
Like
can
the
do.
luxury
Yeah.
tax and shit.
So, and then my starting rotation. My starting rotation 2 years ago was better. The one I have this year, it's still good, but it's my starting rotation this year is Bartolo Colon, Jake Westbrook, Zach Day, who all at this time, and Zach Day and Jake Westbrook at that time were on cheap contracts, but Jake Westbrook is obviously a Cleveland, he's known for being a Cleveland Indian. Colon at this point was already a star. Who else? I have I forget about the two guys in my rotation. I gotta look, but my bullpen's not great, but I'm getting a lot out of them right now. Just because I know kind of how to kind of place them in a bullpen. But basically, I run through the gauntlet every year. I'm playing the division every year, obviously, because this is before you kind of have this current schedule that they have in MLB now, where it's you got to play so many different teams. So I'm playing the division a lot, but the division's never that good. So I'm always beating up on the division. I'm always beating up on, so for some reason our team's always playing the Cubs every year. I beat them up. White Sox, basically both Chicago teams, I beat them up. And what else do I have? I got so many different guys, but pretty much all the guys on my team are my 1 through 9 as a batting order. There's no holes in it. Everybody's pretty much an all-star. I had to give up, what's funny was to get certain guys, I had to trade away, because at this point, now Mo is still in his prime, but I don't really need a closer like that because I can get a lot out of my closer. So I basically, I forgot I traded Mo too, but I traded Mo away for 3 guys. Because the thing is, I need positions I needed position players. I didn't need a closer because I know Mo's great, but in this game, you can get a lot out of a closer as long as you just get a decent one. So I could live without Mo because I needed hitting because all the guys were getting older. by this point. So because it was Mo in his prime still, I was able to get a lot for him. I think that's how I got guys like what was it? I 1 year my leadoff hitter, and I told you about this guy Scoop, but this is back when he was in his prime, like really in his prime as a Tampa Bay Ray. I got Carl Crawford as my leadoff hitter, and
we talked about that.
And the thing is, in real life, Carl Crawford was one of the best leadoff hitters of his era, and not just leadoff hitter. His speed's incredible. He's like one of the only players. I think him and Ichiro are the only two or three players in this game where they have 99 or 100 speed. So I could literally bunt the ball for a hit every time, or I could literally slap the ball into the gap and get a triple because they're just so damn fast. So I had him for a while. I did the stupid thing. I traded him and made Ichiro my leadoff hitter. That's not stupid, but I should have kept Carl Crawford because he's younger. I could have had him for cheaper. The Ichiro contract is looking kind of bad right now, but I'm still getting a lot. Ichiro's still batting 290, 300 for me, so I'm still okay with that. He's still getting on base. He's still playing great outfield, so I'm fine with that. But I should have kept Carl Crawford. That was a mistake on my part. But I'm still winning a ton of games. I'm still way far ahead. I'm winning the division by like 25 games right now. So like, I'm still way far ahead. So I've been playing that. MVP Baseball's 1. I've been playing a little bit of NFL 2K5. That's a classic video game.
Nice.
I like playing the older sports games, like the ones I have on disc, just because I like. Well, first of all, I love the nostalgia feeling of popping in a disc to play a game.
It's great.
But
I still do it.
But the thing is like, I like the older games because I think the older games give me more of a challenge that the new ones don't do. The older games literally make you have to, like, just for lack of a better word, get better at the game. The new ones you can master in 5-10 minutes. Madden is not a challenge for me. 2K is not a challenge for me. The show is, but that's because we didn't have the show on Xbox until 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm still getting used to the show. But in terms of like older games, they make you have to get good at them. And they make you have to really think about strategy and things like that. So I like them more. So I've been playing a lot of the older games. MVP Baseball, I've basically got every achievement. I still play it because it's still a playable game. It still has tons of replay value. But I play MVP Baseball. I have all the retro jerseys. There's a lot of unlockables. I have all of the retro jerseys. I have all the retro stadiums. I have all the achievements in the game. I literally have ran through the game. Like, just completely just ruined that disc. And I still play it every day. So,
yeah.
Fun.
All right. Finishing up with baseball. There were two big things. Obviously, Emmanuel Class A, which we can get to, Scoop, if you want to. But also you want to talk
Class
about
A, San Diego.
And I know you want to talk about the Gold Glove and just the awards in general. So go ahead, do your spiel. Finish off the night in a good way here. Love it.
Yeah. So I've alluded to this. Well, not alluded, but I've kind of like touched on this at different times to various degrees of brevity, to the extent that I can do anything briefly. But the Gold Glove Awards came out this past few days, and I'm pulling up the list right now just so that I have everything in front of me. And there's some people that I definitely think make a lot of sense in terms of why they won or how they won or whatever the case may be. But there are some people on here that, I'm sorry, it is painfully obvious that they won for the same reason that I think it was the Royals or somebody completely dominated the All-Star voting back in 2014 and 2015 or whatever it was. And that is strictly because of popularity.
It's a popularity contest.
Yeah. One second. Pardon? I apologize, y'all.
You're good. But again, Brandon, you can continue on that. Like, it's been a popularity contest for a while.
That's my problem with a lot of sports voting in general, though. Like, but in the MLB, like the MVP is the one where everybody's like, "Oh my god!" MVP is something where it's like, it should just be obvious. But the problem is like,
I'm back.
Yeah, there you go.
You're good.
Sorry about that. But anyway, so what I had begun to say is that this whole thing where and you would kind of help me with what I was saying was about it being a popularity contest. Why in the hell are Fernando Tatis on a list like this? He was not, by any stretch of the imagination, one of the top outfielders this past season. He is a prime, and again, good on the voters for recognizing somebody I didn't think they were going to recognize, but they correctly did so in Patrick Bailey, the catcher for the Giants. But it just, the MLB in general has done a poor job of recognizing defense. I think they claimed that they were trying to do better at it with things like banning the shift and blah 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 blah, but which I still fail to understand how that helped. And again, but they're clearly, they're clearly offensive favoring, as most sports have become. Which, I'm not wild about that. I like a good defensive game, but again, they have to appeal to the masses, and apparently that's what they're seeing that the masses want, which is fine. But I've seen time and again the argument that that these awards, like you said, it's popularity contest, whatever. So then why? So that if this is going to be the case, you cannot start turning around and saying that, well, this guy should be a Hall of Famer because he's won this award this many times, or this guy shouldn't be a Hall of Famer because he's only won the award this many times, because these awards are becoming less and less meaningful and less and less appropriate for what they were instituted for, when basically any measure of research or watching the players would tell you that does not substantiate them winning that award, at least that season. And one of the things that I also complained about to y'all was that I've seen people win awards, and basically the argument being, or not win awards, and basically the argument being, well, he's already won an award this many times, so
yeah,
what?
That voter fatigue thing.
Yeah. So like I'm willing to bet we'll see it. I still think Judge will win the award, but I'm willing to bet we'll see it with some people this year who will vote for Raleigh just because they don't want to vote for Judge again. I'm sure we'll see it with some people for Shohei Ohtani who are just sick and tired of Shohei Ohtani for God knows what reason. And
even though this was Shohei's most fun season, even though he didn't really pitch at all.
Yeah, and I just, again, just the voting, and this is why, well, at least for the Hall of Fame, this is what I said during last year when the MLB Hall of Fame voting was happening. From my vantage point, I think if you're going to have it be a voting thing, have it be the players who are already in the Hall of Fame who are still living. My vantage point is that if it's supposed to be this like upper echelon and highest pantheon of MLB greats, then they should be the ones who get to determine who's in, and only them. Because, excuse me. Now, granted, I know there's going to be people who push back, and rightfully so, and say, well, people like John Smoltz are and we all know how he's very not well regarded by a lot of fans in terms of being as an analyst and as a reporter or whatever. But I look at and that's, in my opinion, when you look at the awards, and at least for the Hall of Fame side of it all, that's the only way around it that I see, or at least the closest to the best way around it that I see. Because I'm not understanding why we are so comfortable making these awards a popularity contest and then still using them for major things like that, or when it comes to contract disputes or whatever the case may be. Because
arbitration, that matters for arbitration for these guys.
Another one. Or even contractual bonuses or incentives or whatever. These awards are meaning less and less over the course of time when they just become a popularity contest. It started with the All-Star games, and now we're starting to see it with the Silver Sluggers and the Gold Gloves. And I think it's worse with the Gold Gloves than with the Silver Sluggers, because I think the league just, again, is just inherently becoming biased against defense. So I think it's going to be worse inherently with the Gold Glove Award as a result. But I'm seeing this, and people saying, well, because he's already won it 3 times, I'm going to vote for somebody else. The point of the award is to recognize greatness. And it goes back to what I said 3 weeks ago when I said that I wanted the Dodgers to win the World Series. Why and when did sports become about delegitimizing and disincentivizing and penalizing greatness? I want to see greatness. I want to see the best against the best on the World Series stage, or the Super Bowl stage, or the Stanley Cup stage, or the how's it called, the Larry O'Brien Trophy. I want to see the best against the best, and I damn sure am not going to punish or say it's the fault of the teams that are doing very well that the Pittsburgh Pirates aren't paying enough money. When fun fact, the last guy that got a multi-year deal as a free agent for the Pirates, Brandon and I remember this name, Ivan Nova.
Yep.
When you haven't given out a multi-year deal because of since Ivan Nova, I have no damn sympathy for you and no damn willingness to look at you as this guy who's trapped in a bubble. Miss me with it and spare me.
I will say the BBWA has been awful for a long time. That's pretty factual. But
the VC is about to come out and do their voting thing, and that's got people. It's like this sort of the sort of second chance for people to get into the Hall of Fame, and it's got. I think Don Mattingly's on the ballot again. I'm almost certain both Clemens and Bonds are on it.
Yes.
And there's a couple of other names that I'm forgetting. But I will be curious to see how that goes and see if any of those cases are looked at any differently by the VC versus how they were by the BBW.
Can someone tell me why Bernie Williams is not on it?
This is from my standpoint. I think he's going to be. I think he's looked at a little bit like Jorge Posada or like Don Mattingly, where I think his club contributions are just looked at with more reverence among the fans of that team than among the game. I don't agree with it per se. But that's the perception that I have. Because if I'm pulling up his stats right now. Because you know how I feel about him. If it were me, it would not be the core four. It'd be the
Fab
Five or whatever you want to call him. Because in my opinion, he's and not just my opinion, in the opinion of little members of the core four, they don't win those World Series and they don't have that dynasty without Bernie Williams. So I think he was. Now I'm not going to say who was most important or least important, but I think he was in that conversation in terms of being as important as any of the other ones. The only difference that I know of is that I'm not aware of George Steinbrenner trying to trade him, as opposed to what he seemingly tried to do with the other four. But I apologize. My work Wi-Fi is not helping me right now. Yeah, but okay. So here we are. So he had 287 homers. He hit just under 300, OPS of 858. Like it's when you have 287 homers and 147 stolen bases, like those are typically two of the main numbers that people are going to look at for you for the Hall of Fame. And if you have neither of those and you're hitting under 300, you can. I would definitely. He's in that kind of that weird with it. People like Joel Sherman talk about sort of like that weird where you're like the Hall of Fame accepts the top 1% of the game, and you're sort of in that second percent where you're kind of in. You're going to be in the conversation of the best players that never made it. But it's just, again, I think if you took who he actually is and made it and kind of ostracized that, for lack of a better word, or kind of disconnected that and just looked at the numbers, I think that people would say, and I'll even bring it back to what I was talking about. I was talking about with the awards thing. He was a 5-time All-Star, a 4-time Gold Glove winner, and a 6-time top 20 MVP finisher, but never finished above 7th. So those are very good numbers, but I think there's a lot of people who would argue that those juxtaposed with the stats don't make him in the conversation. Like you're going to look at those. You're going to look at those numbers in the context of the guys who are in the context of the guys who are already in the Hall of Fame, and just I can see a lot of Hall of Famers with a lot better numbers than that. I just can, unfortunately.
And there's also a lot that have less, or at least more recent ones that have less. And it's like,
I
you
don't
know,
disagree with that, but I also at baseline I'm a small hall guy.
yeah,
So if you're closer to some of the very bottom, I'm still not in favor as a matter of principle. I'm still not in favor of well, these very low end guys already got in, so it's
see,
just personally, that's not
I
how.
appreciate you being a small hall guy because look at the Basketball Hall of Fame.
like,
Everyone in
yeah,
their nan gets in.
like what I'm thinking of too. Like what puts Bernie over the edge for me is he's considered one of the greatest postseason players of all time. That's that's where I go. Because the thing is, like, it's not just him winning the rings; it's how important he was to all those rings.
Well,
And
yeah.
it's
I mean, that's the difference for me because I mean, if you're talking about, and this is why, as much as obviously winning the championship is the most important thing in any sport, but this is why I really hate when people make the ring such a central part of the argument because they use it for LeBron versus MJ. But in basketball, if you're using your rings as your central part of your argument, then Bill Russell becomes the greatest player of all
exactly,
time.
yeah,
If you're
And Bill
using it
Russell was playing. And Bill Russell was playing against plumbers on the weekend.
Right.
yeah,
And if you're using it in baseball, I have immense love and respect for him. But if you're using it in baseball, then all of a sudden that makes Yogi Berra the GOAT. And I'm
yeah.
sorry, Yogi Berra, I don't even know if Yogi Berra is fully the greatest catcher in Yankees history because at least he has competition from guys like Bill Dickey and company.
And it's
So
like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
yeah, so that's where, like, yes, I acknowledge that winning the championship is the most important thing in baseball history, or in baseball or in any other sport. But again, it's like everything else. You can't dumb down sports to one number. Even
yeah,
when you're me and you use wins above replacement or weighted runs created plus, I use the things in concert and in context with one another. You can't. That's
yeah,
one of the beautiful things about sports is you can't. You can try and simplify it down to one or a couple numbers, but you're always going to have to use things in connection with one another.
yeah. Well, see, that's
Yeah.
that's why for it's like the whole I know that Bernie Williams will be looked at very similarly compared to Julian Edelman, but the thing is, Edelman's numbers are far below Hall of Fame standards. Bernie's aren't. They're borderline already. But then, so it's like, to me, the Bernie argument for the Hall of Fame is way stronger than Julian Edelman's.
The thing is with Edelman, the
I
thing,
didn't even.
and
I didn't even
I-
expect. Sorry, I didn't even expect Edelman to come into the conversation there.
Well, okay. So again, this is the differences kind of between the halls in a way. My biggest thing with the NFL Hall of Fame that I've come to learn over the years is how you get in is based on who is on the ballot that year.
Oh, absolutely.
More than any other sport. Like, if Edelman comes on the ballot the year he's eligible, which I don't remember when he's eligible. I should remember. I don't remember. And there's no one else on the ballot that shouldn't or that should be there. You get in because that's just what you were.
It's like, yeah, I just hate that about the Hall. Like, you shouldn't get in just because of who else is on the ballot. Like, Edelman. To me
No,
is
but no, and I agree. But that's just what the NFL Hall of Fame is.
Yeah.
Now again, I will say in concert with that is that the NFL Hall of Fame ballot the next 10 years is going to be insane.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of these guys that are going to not make the Hall in their first, second, or third try just because of the list is going to be nuts.
I mean, look how long we said no Eagles today, but look how long it took Eric Allen to get into the Hall of Fame. He had the same exact numbers as Deion Sanders, was considered one of the best corners of his generation, along with Sanders, and yet it took him this long. He's been retired for basically 25 years.
Yeah, and that's because of
so
who else
long?
is on the ballot.
Yeah.
Yes, Scoop.
According to Francis Romero, the Yankees have emerged among the favorites to sign Imai.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Before I let Brandon go on these topics, Scoop, do you have anything to say that hasn't already been said with our NBA topic on gambling on Class A and Ortiz?
Oh, geez, he froze.
Did Scoop just die? No. Anyway, Brandon, you can start on that if you'd like.
Yeah, the whole gambling thing. I'll get that out of the way first before we get to the more obviously lighthearted awards and things like that, and the Hall of Fame debate and whatever else we're going on about tonight. Like, I'm still trying to figure out. There has to be something more to the story to me, because you're not going to get 65 years in prison for something for what they quote unquote did for sports betting and gambling. So I'm struggling to see how you get 65 years for that. That's the potential. Pretty much the potential.
That's the thing that we've been trying to figure out all day is what makes it 65 years, and I don't actually know.
I still
did you read through the indictment? You probably read through the indictment more closely than I did. Did you see anything in there that
not something egregious enough to get 65 years? 65 years is if you commit a terrorist
serial murder.
65 years is not a gambling charge or sports betting. That's
what is the common jail sentence for that? Is it actually 65 years?
What?
What is it for sports betting?
I mean, probably if I had to guess, you would probably get maybe. It depends. Depends on the state.
It depends on the state too.
Yeah, because some states don't obviously do it. You guys can't sports bet over there. So,
by the way, much to my chagrin, even though there are problems with sports betting, the fact that I can't pull up FanDuel is kind of stupid.
Yeah, so you've got that, right? So it depends on the state. I guess if it's in a more strict state when it comes to sports betting, I guess the years would be more severe. If it's in this, if it's in a state where it's, sports betting is kind of a rampant, it's just completely legal, I guess you would get maybe I would say, anywhere between 3 to 10, I guess. But to give somebody 65 years, you have to have done something really egregiously wrong, for that to be that sentence. That's a life sentence for that. So, I'm not sure why that sentence is potentially going to be that long. We haven't, it's not, we still have to go to court and everything yet, but why the sentence could potentially be that long is ridiculous to me.
The examples, so it averages out to 20 years for wire fraud, money laundering, conspiracy to influence is just 5. So the Emmanuel Clase thing comes up here. And then the Amit Patel, I don't know if you remember that. That was he was basically colluding with FanDuel. He was a Jags employee, basically. Remember the Jags employee thing? He got 6.5 for stealing $22 million of the Jags money to bet on FanDuel.
Yeah, so saying 65 years for what Clase and Ortiz did it doesn't seem right. Something's got to be really, really wrong there in order for them to get that hefty of a sentence.
Is it? Wait. If convicted, it's 60. It's 60 because they face everything. They face 20 years per charge. So 20 years for the wire, 20 years for honest services, and 5 for So it is, and 20 years for money laundering. So they did everything.
So it's 20, and so it's 325. Yeah. Okay.
By the way, that still seems like a ton.
That still seems like it's still, that's what I'm saying. It still seems harsh. I don't think they're going to get the full 65. I think that if anything, they'll probably get 40 out of that, which is still a lot, but they'll probably get 40 or maybe 25 out of that, something like that. But they shouldn't get 60. I mean, listen, you could probably find them guilty of it, but that's 65. I don't know. I guess, the wire fraud one is the one that's going to be, that one is going to be interesting. But, and I think that, the conspiracy. So, I guess I can get it. If they can prove it, then But I don't like how, that's why we keep talking about this country. Then here comes, the whole rights and politics thing. That's where you need legal reform. Because that.
Well, not only legal reform on a governmental scale, but also for the leagues, clearly.
Yeah, because it's like these penalties are making no sense. How people someone could kill another person and get 5 years in jail.
Tim Donaghy, which you remember for NBA ref scandals, he got 15 months.
So it's
and so 3 years of supervised release.
It's so inconsistent, and the legalese of it is so weird that
it is bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. We need to have more black and white. I know. Listen, I know.
It is black and white because basically what they're saying is that it's 20, 20, 20. But again, that's a lot. Now, I will say,
yeah.
I will say, I looked at Emmanuel Classe's pictures. I think I sent it to you guys.
Yeah.
I looked at it again. He's literally throwing balls in the dirt.
He tanked every first pitch. Yeah, he would throw every first pitch in the dirt. He would tank it.
Dude,
yeah.
It literally why was it so obvious? Like he literally threw it in the fucking dirt. Like what the hell?
Like it just and
like how do you not think you're not going to get caught by that? Also, that's another thing. If you're a catcher, how do you feel about that situation? Because Classie's coming in a closing situation.
Because like, well, here's the thing: the catcher might not know. So, like, I'm thinking.
Well, the catcher might not know, but imagine if that happens repeatedly with you behind the plate, and you have to stretch and grab it while it's falling on the ground.
You would get so annoyed. Yeah, you would get unbelievably annoyed. Like, your job as a pitcher is to not make the catcher's life as harder. So,
yeah,
like that. That's why like going back to the Framber Valdez thing when he literally tags his catcher because they got miscommunication on the one pitch before. And then he crosses up his catcher intentionally just to prove a point. It's like, so you're purposely trying to injure your catcher. You're purposely trying to hurt him and damage your standing with your catcher, with the guy you're supposed to trust.
More than anyone in the entire in the entire clubhouse.
Just because you guys got crossed up on one pitch, like that's terrible. Like I don't care. Like if that was a guy on my team, I don't care how good Framber Valdez is, you'd be gone. You would be gone. Because if that's your attitude, I don't want you on my team. Period.
What's the story with Valdez? I don't think I know this whole story.
Remember, it happened back like in the summer. Remember where he threw a pitch and it was a cross up, and I think it was hit for a home run. Remember, it was a cross up.
I think so, pitch. Yeah.
And
the
very next pitch, I forget what it was, but the very next pitch, he basically crossed up his catcher, and instead of throwing the pitch that the catcher called, he threw a fastball, and it hit the catcher, and the catcher was pissed, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he did it to prove a point. The catcher called the next pitch after the miscommunication. He called the pitch. They both were on the same page about calling the pitch, except Valdez in his mind made up that he was going to drill his own catcher. He was going to try to, fake out, deceive his own catcher to prove a point.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. If that's the attitude you have because you threw one mistake pitch, because miscommunications happen, forget pitch comp. Forget pitch comp. Miscommunications have happened in baseball since the dawn of time, since the catchers were throwing the fingers down to call pitches. Miscommunication will always happen in sports. The fact that you got that pissed at your catcher for a simple miscommunication, you would be off my team tomorrow. And the thing is, that's not the first time he's done something like this. So I don't remember the other instance specifically, but I do remember him having brushes in the past with this. And so if that's your attitude, I don't want you anywhere near my baseball team. If you're going to be an asshole, I don't want you. This is just not for baseball. This is for any sport. If you're going to be detrimental, if you're going to basically, this is what's considered conduct detrimental to
the team. Yeah.
So I do not want a guy around my team if that's going to be his attitude and his relationship with his teammates. I don't want him anywhere near the team. I don't care if this guy is a Hall of Fame player. I don't care. You are off my team.
The thing that I'll say on Class A is not only did I watch the one pitch that they didn't show on the thing I watched, I think it was J9 Innings, I believe is the Instagram account. By the way, fantastic baseball Twitter account. Absolutely brilliant. I don't think he showed it. I don't know. I didn't have the audio on, so maybe he did. There was one pitch. There was one Class A pitch where he was trying to miss, but he got a strike, and he goes, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
and you could literally hear it. I was like, "Oh my god!"
JS 9 innings.
Yeah, and I was like, "Wow, that's bold." Like you throw a strike and you're actually pissed about it. But again, like, what's the communication with your catcher in that situation? Like, that's the thing that I'm like trying to figure out. Is like your communication with the catcher is I'm gonna freaking hit the dirt. Like, what are you doing? Like, I just don't.
I don't know. I wish I knew. And there's just it's becoming. This is why we're saying that sports betting in general is becoming a real problem in baseball, and just in sports in general, because it can't be this way. We knew back in the day, guys gambling maybe under the table, but it was never obvious. Now it's out in the open. Now it's now they're basically it's one thing to do something behind someone's back and they don't recognize it. It's another thing to do it blatantly in someone's face, because that's more disrespectful than that. So
yeah, that the Emmanuel Class A thing was even the Terry Rozier stuff was pretty blatant, but I understood again. I always understand the process of these. These things take a long time. They just do because it's the FBI.
Yeah. My biggest problem is when it comes to sports betting nowadays, and everybody's like, oh, well, it's been a thing in sports, since the 1920s, and guys were gambling on horses and gambling on the World Series and whatnot.
That's the one thing we can do in Washington. We can gamble on horses at horse places,
well,
and obviously we can gamble on Indian reservations because that's different.
Yeah, but the problem I have is at least back then people were discreet about it and people were going about their own business and handling it on their own time. Sports betting and gambling nowadays is right in front of you. They're not trying to hide it anymore. Now it's right in front of your face. Every ad is a sports betting ad. There's a sports betting segment on every show now. And now players are
every game.
Players are now more than ever. They are blatantly tanking games and tanking their performance in the name of, look at this. My TV listens to me. Do you know, as I just started the sentence, do you know what just came on TV? It was a BetMGM. BetMGM just came on my TV. We're just talking about it. It just came on my TV. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about
Scoop was surprised what he walked into. We're talking about the Emmanuel Class A and the sports betting thing. And how sports betting is in front of your face.
Because now, sport, I was telling Rob before you came back in, Scoop, that sports betting, we always knew that this has been a thing since, the betting on horses way back in the 1920s and betting on the World Series under the table and things whatever. But the problem is now, and the thing is, it was bad then and it's bad now. But the reason why to me it's worse now, because now it's being blatantly disrespectful now, because it's right in front of your face and it's becoming more and more apparent and rampant. So it's now
again, the FBI is getting involved. The Department of Justice.
It's getting to a point where it's just getting to be just a disgusting behavior that's right in front of our faces, and that no one wants to the FBI is trying to step in, but we need to do something about this, because this is just getting out of hand, completely out of hand now. So,
I do think it is a problem that, even, by the way, in states like Washington where we can't bet, every day, every minute, almost every minute, every day, ESPN Bet won't be a thing anymore, but when it was a big thing, ESPN Bet ad every day, FanDuel ad every day, DraftKings every day, and I can't even download the damn app on my phone.
Half the ads on your TV every day are sports betting ads. Half of them.
If you watch sports on a daily basis like we do, there it is. It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even I mean, I live in Mississippi, and the if you want to place a sports bet, you have to go to there are certain casinos that have it on site. You can sports bet.
That's what I'm saying. For me, it's Indian reservation and horse races. You can go and play sports bets at. What the hell just happened to him?
Here's another one. Bet Rivers Casino. Another gambling commercial.
Oh,
there you go.
I mean, that's just the general casino, but
still, it's gambling. And just in general. Come on, man. This is getting so ridiculous. And people are tired of seeing it. People are tired of seeing it because I see it every day now.
You know what I'd be curious? If you went and spent a week in France or even Hungary or Romania or these other countries, I'd be curious how many betting ads you'd see over the course of a week, because I bet it's not.
I will tell you that I don't know about Romania and England, or Romania and all those other different countries. I know in England's big issue.
Okay.
It's huge because as you know, Scoop playing Football Manager,
EPL.
as Brandon knows, EPL is huge, and EPL and gambling go together like gravy. And I imagine that's the same for Spain with La Liga and Germany with the Bundesliga. It's a huge business. Like it's gigantic. I don't know about smaller countries like my country, Romania. I don't know about that.
I don't know why I thought you were Hungarian. I have no idea.
I am Hungarian too.
Oh, okay.
No, but I don't think it's. I don't know. But that brings me to a side topic. But Scoop, what were you saying about your state? Because you have to bet at like certain casinos and stuff.
I mean, I've never placed one while living down here, but certain. And similarly, when I was in Missouri for a few months, when I lived in Missouri for a few months in 23, it was similar. You had to do it from certain locations, and like literally it's not that the app isn't downloadable, but the app will not work because those apps are part of how they. I don't want to say how they track you, but part of how they grant you access or whatever. Most apps is where they turn on location services in order to use the app.
Yeah.
And if they are not,
oh yeah, I can download DraftKings if I wanted to. You can still
download it. You can download it, but the app will just straight up won't work.
You gotta verify your residence, like where and your age.
And different apps do it in different ways. But for me, I don't remember what app I tried to use, but for me, it just straight up would not let me use the app because of once it put on my location services, and it also will just be weird. Sometimes my location will show up in Louisiana for some weird reason. But now, granted, I live not far from the Louisiana border, so that's not entirely crazy, but it just is weird to me. Excuse me, but yeah, so that's really all I was going to say is that I do know that different states do their regulations in different ways, and I know some states just outright completely no, and then there are some states where it's a no unless it's on specific proven premises, and I don't know what the process is like to place a sports bet at those locations because again I've never been there. I don't know if it's just the app suddenly works because you're on their connection or in their, their radius.
I know for Indian reservations you place the bet at our casino, Kwame Casino.
Okay. So you don't
have to place it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you place it in person. It's you don't use a mobile.
And that was the same when I did horse racing because I won I think I put $5 down and I won 70. It was nuts.
Nice.
But again, I placed $5, not 2,000.
Yeah, no way. Yeah.
No, yeah, and it's just
But again, you have to place it there.
And the argument that some people have put up with me, that was a weird way to phrase that, but the argument that some people have kind of hit me with when it comes to sports betting is, well, there's all these ads for it. Why the fans can do it? Why can't the players? The fans don't have an ability to influence the game in real time.
Yes.
How?
Yes.
How is this a difficult?
How is that an argument? Wait, I'm so confused.
I've actually heard it several times. So it's they're
integrity of the game much.
They're advertising it to the fans. They're advertising it to the fans. Okay, yeah, they're also advertising testosterone to the fans too. I don't think the players are allowed to take that either.
By the way, that brings the one thing that's not rampant in Europe that is rampant here is medication ads.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. No.
God.
There are certain countries that outright ban medicinal ads.
Well,
Romania is one of them.
You know what it is too. I mean, not for nothing, but the reason why we have so many of them here, because we have an obesity problem. And B, and health here is not great. And B, everything overseas is 20 times healthier for you than what it is here. Cigarettes are.
I will say.
Soda is. They are.
Wait. Back up.
Yes,
cigarettes.
But
I've heard.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard
that is true. Cigarettes are still bad for you, and part of the problem is in Romania they smoke it like flipping dogs.
But that's the thing problem. Is that it's what goes into that.
They soak it. They smoke it like what?
they smoke it like flipping dogs, dude. Like Romania,
Like,
what does
like
that
in
mean, flipping
Romania. Oh
dogs? What
my
does that
god, just
I don't know what that
puffing.
means.
Just puffing.
like
It's
chain,
just
like
a
almost like
figure
chain
of speech.
smoking.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
just
okay.
straight up. They're just straight up, dude. In Romania, the amount of like people smoking. Oh my god,
When I went
like
when I went over to Portugal and I saw how many people were just casually smoking a cigarette from the ages of 18 to like 90. I was like,
No,
bro,
I was
they
talking
smoke.
to people like in like my family circle where like I started at 15, I started at 16, I started even
Yeah.
younger. I was like, oh my god, like
Like, but the thing
cigarettes.
is, but it's true. Like even the things that are bad for you in general for anybody, they're still healthier over there. Like cigarettes are still technically healthier over there. Alcohol healthier over there. Soda. I told you guys. I think this, or at least I told Rob this. A can of Sprite, right? Can of Sprite here is about 110, 120% sugar when you look at the bottom of the nutrition facts. Over there, you want to guess how much the percentage is?
80.
Way less.
Like
way less.
50-ish, something like that.
Less. It's like 15, 16.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah. The soda is about 1/10 of the sugar and guess what? It tastes better. It tastes cleaner.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's actually good.
That's the thing. Like Mexican Coca-Cola is with cane sugar.
Yeah.
And that's why Trump has been like, that's probably the one thing I agree with Trump is that we need cane sugar in our Cokes.
Yeah.
Because it's so much better.
But it's so true. It's like we have a problem.
I've never
here
been to
in terms of
Mexico,
health.
but I do want to try Mexican Coke now.
So,
Dude, go to your local store. It's there.
so
And
like
it's
yeah.
fantastic.
Like
Where?
that's a problem.
Go to
It
your
really is
local
a-
gas station. It's there. I get it at my
Okay,
gas station.
I haven't seen
I'm
it. Not
serious.
mine.
I get it
Not
at my
mine.
gas station.
Not
I
at
get it
mine.
at my gas station. I
Like,
do. Or I did. Maybe I don't have it anymore.
Oh,
like you know what it is like, you know, we see all those medicine ads because it's like the thing is over here we eat a lot, like our stuff is very, very, very heavily processed. Overseas, it's fresh. The meat is fresh. Fish is fresh.
Can I
Eggs are
add something? Can I add something on that? Because it's
Yeah.
unbelievable how well timed this is. So just then, when I went upstairs because my laptop died and I had to go grab my charger and then fight my cat to let me get to the door, I have the TV on because I keep the TV on.
Returning.
Yeah, I have the TV going. I have the TV going most of the time, either whether I'm watching it or for background noise. And I have the TV going, and they did a medication. I don't remember the name of the medication, but it was for mental health,
Yeah.
and it was, going through the side effects.
Your first one is may cause suicide every time.
Yeah,
and it's so bad.
May cause unexpected behavior or
Yeah.
or thoughts of
Behavioral
suicide.
changes.
yeah,
Yeah.
mood
Behavioral changes or thoughts of suicide. I'm like,
Yeah.
Every single medication. has-
Why would
For-
I take that?
I'm like you're telling me this medication is to help my depression, and
it could make it worse.
Cause it.
It actually could make it so much worse. It depends on the med.
And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, and we wonder why so many people didn't want to take the COVID vaccine. I just can't imagine why it's so difficult for people to trust. When
Because
medication.
I see where you're going. It's part of the misinformation thing. People just don't trust stuff.
Well,
in general.
Let me be clear. I didn't intend to go down the COVID vaccine route. But
By the way, I was gonna go down a COVID thing too because we were joking about this with Josh last season because they started doing COVID med ads. So the ads on Monday Night Football would be your Monday Night Football game that's coming up next week, COVID med, HIV med, Ozempic,
Yeah.
some other random thing, and it's like back to back to back to back.
Yeah, and
then Dick's Sporting Goods to finish it off for some stupid reason.
but I was up there and I paused for a moment. I'm thinking to myself, they literally just spent 25 seconds telling you about why this medication is going to help your mental health, and then the first thing they warn you about is not to take this if you are at risk for thoughts of suicide. And I'm thinking,
It's so counterintuitive.
It's so counterintuitive. The thing that I love about those ads, which by the way, I know about so many conditions that I'm like, I would never know about this condition if this ad never came up on my TV. I would never know this thing existed.
You and me both.
And then, but the other part of it that I think is hilarious is these families and these people are all so fucking happy. They're like so unrealistically happy.
Did you ever notice that like during a medication commercial, they're all dancing, playing with their dogs and children, and it's like, oh yeah, here's all the side effects.
Do you remember Cialis? Do you remember Cialis? I'm sorry,
blowing on a dandelion. Like I haven't blown on a dandelion since I was 7 years old.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Scoop. I got to get this out. Do you guys remember Cialis commercials?
Yes.
And it would be a hot tub. No, it would be a tub. It would be a tub, and it would be these two people. It would be this man and woman in a tub. Yeah, like in a tub. Two older people just in a tub, and they would be like at the park in a tub, at their house in a tub, getting dinner in a tub, and then the end of the commercial would be these two men and women who are super romantic on the beach in a tub. Like I'm talking like a bathtub.
I don't remember that commercial at all.
I swear I'm gonna find it. They're just in a bathtub. And then by the way, the best part about that is at the end of the commercial, their logo is two people in a bathtub. Their logo was literally two people in a bathtub.
I've seen plenty of commercials in my day.
That was my whole young life. That was my entire young life from like 7 to 15.
For that one.
Also, no, go ahead, Scoop.
I was going to say, I've seen a lot of commercials, especially when it comes to like Cialis or similar medications. I cannot for and I still remember commercials I saw when I was like 11.
Cialis. It might have been something else, but I know it started with the C.
But still, I still remember a lot of commercials from when I was like 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. I definitely don't remember that one.
Dude, it was really creepy.
You know,
I was why are these people in a bathtub in the middle of a park?
We are the only, I think, at least from what I've seen, like overseas also, once again, because they don't get sick and they live to be 120 years old.
Unless if you're chain smoking all the time, but yeah.
Even then.
Even then, how many people have you seen? The question is like, oh, how did you get to be 118 years old?
Oh, it's like I smoke 3 packs a day.
I drank 7 quarts of Dr. Pepper.
I drank 2 glasses of red wine with every meal.
Yeah, and I you know, my meal was a 40-ounce steak every night. Like, yeah, all right.
By the way, that's the Al Michaels thing. Al Michaels like only eats meat, never eats vegetables. Dude's fucking amazing.
Have you guys ever seen the video? Do you guys remember the former manager of the White Sox and the Marlins, Ozzie Guillen?
Yeah.
So I'm a huge Ozzie Guillen fan, and a lot of people aren't. But he did an interview a couple years ago, and he was saying, we always tell these guys, you know, don't gain weight, you know, be careful what you eat. He said, fat, you can't pull. And then he says, I remember when I was younger, you tell guys they would down in 6, 7, 12 Budweiser, give them 3 hamburger and go get it, boys. And they play all year long.
Dude, AJ Pierzynski, one of great commentator.
I love AJ Pierzynski. I don't understand why people hate him so much. He
was a good player in his day too.
Because he literally looks like our vice president. That's why.
He kind of does.
He does.
I don't see it. I don't see it at all. But anyway, go on.
Okay. Because one of the things he said is when he played, he would literally like be drunk and playing. He would be in the dugout and just straight up shag beers.
Bro, Josh Gordon played high.
Some people that was a little different, but
it's still.
I mean, well, also he played better high, but like another thing. But CC Sabathia. I mean, I thank God that he got better from his disease and things of that nature. CC Sabathia literally pitched better when he was at 290.
He pitched better when he was heavier, and he even said that he was like when I was literally pitched when I was heavier, when I didn't drop 70 pounds. He's like,
he's like, I didn't know how to, maintain control of my body and my, and all that. He's like, I felt less comfortable when I lost so much weight.
And you also got to realize too, and people people might think that might be like a good thing for a player. Like obviously certain players, losing weight, whatever, but you got to realize that everybody's, and this is just a sports thing. I'll just stick with sports for this thing because it's not so much true in real life, but in sports definitely like no, it's true for real life too. Everybody has a healthy weight that they're supposed to be at. There's no set that whole body mass index thing of like, oh, you're a certain height, so you have to be a certain weight. Like,
yeah,
but that's why you go to the doctor. They tell you like, hey.
Yeah, a lot of that's becoming disproven. A lot of that BMI stuff is becoming
for my height, it says that I should be around like 190. I'm 250. I'm 5'11", 250. But the thing is, I'm broad shoulders, and genetically, a lot of people in my family history are bigger. My father was huge. My father was 6'4". He has German blood in him. I have Samoan blood in me. I have big genes that run in my family. So.
You always complain about that when you put up a job application. I have to say I'm everything all the time.
Yeah, I have to check off like 3 or 4 boxes. Like for what race are you? This one. Like, okay.
I'm a mutt.
Like, yeah. But that's why I'm happy that the one option is just we'll talk about this off thing, but the whole 2 or more races thing is weird to me when it says that. It's like 2 or more races, but then in parentheses in small print says not Hispanic or Latino. What the hell does that mean?
I hate that.
Like I'm 2 or more races, yes, but I'm also Hispanic. I'm part Puerto Rican.
It's because the Hispanic and Latino thing is because they want people who are Spanish speakers.
Yeah,
that's the history of it.
But
okay. See, I never knew that.
Yeah. Like that's so weird to me though.
I learned this from Hispanic and Latino people, by the way.
That's that makes sense. I'm very, very whitewashed in that regard. but
this is so off topic for a football show.
But basically,
yeah. I was so curious how y'all got on this topic when I was gone for literally less than 10 minutes.
Because it's just the overall. Because I went from betting and the awards and things like that in baseball to now, and sports in general to now.
Like culture.
We didn't even get to Brandon's thoughts on the awards and Scoop's thoughts on the Class A thing.
Well, yeah, because you know what? Well, we all know the Class A thing is just that bad. But
yeah,
like
Scoop, do you have anything on the Class A thing that we haven't already said?
Well, I mean, the one thing I will say is, and I told you guys this, but in 2020, because they said this started back in 2023, I think, but was going on until actively this year.
Yep.
I went to a Yankees-Cleveland game in, I don't remember if it's the ALCS or ALDS, whatever it was last year, at Progressive Field. And I watched him pitch, and I watched him pitch not well. And I don't know, for me, just as a fan, it just hits different now knowing that was probably for that reason.
Yeah, and the one thing that I want to ask you, Scoop, is I watched the pitches. As a catcher, how mad would you be if your pitcher just hits the dirt every time as a closer?
So,
as your first pitch.
So, I mean, honestly, I think there would come a point where I would probably just set up lower, to be honest. But I mean, I'd be mad. But if I was, I think back, I can't remember the name of the guy, but a couple of years ago, there was a guy in the minor leagues who, for whatever reason, like it was either minor leagues or college. I think it was minor leagues. Like essentially, like threw a game because he wanted to go home or something like that, and it was like when they were either in the postseason or in contention for the postseason. I know I'm only remembering.
Might have been college. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I swore it was minor league baseball. Yeah, but I'm just but like when I see things like that, I'm thinking to myself. I mean, moreover than I'm pissed off that you have the control of Charlie Sheen in Major League One. I would be even more pissed off, way more pissed off about the fact that you're basically. And here's one of the many things that doesn't make sense. You're choosing money over success for the team. But if you pitch well and your team succeeds, you're probably going to get more money anyway.
And Emmanuel Clase, at this time last year, we said he was the best closer in baseball.
What the hell just
all right, Mickey.
Mickey Mouse.
What just happened there?
Because again, he probably would have been a Hall of Famer if it wasn't for this betting scandal.
Yeah, on his way to being one, yeah.
He was well on his way to being. I would never compare anybody to 42, but the best we've seen since 42.
What do we always say? What's one of the 7 deadly sins? What is it?
I don't know what we're going for here.
I do.
Greed.
Okay.
So money is the root of all evil. They always say that, and then thing is greed, and greed is kind of what follows it. So,
yeah, which I totally agree with, and I totally level with. But it just goes back to I can't get over the fact that in my head that he probably cost himself money doing this stupid shit.
That's what I'm saying too.
Oh my god, it's baseball. Do you know how much money is in baseball?
Especially now for relief pitchers, you couldn't find a relief pitcher getting a 5th year a few years ago before the Aroldis Chapman deal. You could, and I mean, he could have been. I don't think any have gotten hundreds thus far, but he could have been the first reliever to break 100.
Yeah, I think easily.
And now they're saying then now Diaz's contract is going to be massive wherever he goes this offseason. But
I'm sorry to interrupt your train of thought, Brandon. If you had anything else on the body mass index and all that stuff.
None of that stuff. I mean, I'm done with that. That's a whole rant. But the award thing, like Scoop was saying with the awards.
Yeah, let's finish up with the awards thing.
So like Scoop was saying, it's become such a bad popularity contest thing. But it's like we're getting to a point where it's like a couple of years ago with the Pro Bowl. Why the hell is Huntley a Pro Bowler? Why?
By the way, can I interrupt you really quick?
Yeah.
Whoever decided to put the Pro Bowl games on a Tuesday, I'm very upset with you.
Yeah. What?
Why is it on a Tuesday during Super Bowl week? By the way, do you know how we always have fun doing that Pro Bowl party thing?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how to do that because are we recording on a random Tuesday night during Super Bowl week?
Probably not.
No. Why? There's no point. So we're gonna probably watch a movie and do other fun stuff. Yeah. But I'm like, why is it on a random Tuesday? Are we gonna record on a random Tuesday for the Pro Bowl?
We've already taken the Pro Bowl from what it was 10, 20 years ago and beyond that to actually being an actual game with seeing the best of the best play that weren't in the Super Bowl to now it's become like this.
It's just skill challenges.
Yeah, it's just skill challenges and dumbed down Madden games, and now they realize that nobody's watching it, so that's why they're putting it on a Tuesday for that reason.
I just hate it because it's a good 3 hours to spend on your Sunday.
So at this point, just get rid of the entire game. Get rid of the
event. Vote for the Pro Bowl. Let the fans vote for it and get rid of it.
Exactly. Let the fans vote for the Pro Bowl. Let that popularity contest be a thing, and then vote for the All Pro. Don't even play a game anymore because now it's just insulting now. So it's I hate when I see guys. That's why.
Oh, can I say a counter that people will say? Yeah. Oh, it's a way for NFL players to get acclimated with flag football rules for the Olympics. It's a way to get acclimated for that when you go to Team USA. That's how you get acclimated.
It's not even that.
Do you know how NBA players do international games? They go and do it in the summer and they figure it out and they win.
I have no problem with first of all, it's flag football. I mean, listen, it's different than actual tackle, obviously, but flag football is still football. These are professional football players. You mean to tell me they don't know how to play flag football, which is easier than what they do for a living that they get paid millions of dollars for? Okay, that's such a piss poor excuse. But
that's basically the excuse.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I know. It's it doesn't hold any weight, but it's I hate when fans are oh yeah, how did this guy not make the Pro Bowl? I'm like, why do you still care about the Pro Bowl in the 2020s at this point? I care about the All Pros. Those are more important because those actually have some merit to them.
And by the way, it's actually good media people voting for it, unlike baseball.
Yeah. The one award that I do not have a problem with is when they vote for All Pros because those are 99% of the time they're usually dead accurate.
Yeah,
I'm
rarely do they miss. Yeah.
So it's certain guys miss the cut and we're oh this guy missed the cut, but And I guess that's why they have the Pro Bowls. I guess certain guys that would have missed the cut for the All Pro can still get recognized.
Yeah.
But
again, the reason why Hundley was a Pro Bowler is because all the other quarterbacks opted out that year. So they had to pick somebody.
But at the same time,
which again is stupid because it's still on his record as a Pro Bowler, even as a reserve.
So it's like there's guys who played in this league who were great players who never made a Pro Bowl. So you're putting that guy in a Pro Bowl, that guy that doesn't even deserve to be.
Tom Brady, I think only played in like 2 Pro Bowls in his career. He made a ton of Pro Bowls.
Yeah, he was too busy playing in Super Bowls. That's why.
Well, not only that, he also just said no to it later in his career.
Yeah, he did. Whatever. Well, he even said, "Well, didn't he have that famous quote? What teammate did he say it to? It was like Takeo Spikes, or whatever it was. He said to me because it's one of the teammates was crying about not making the Pro Bowl. He's like, "What are we playing this game for? We're playing to win a championship, not make a stupid Pro Bowl."
Yeah.
He's like, well, what are we doing this for then? So he got the guy to like snap out of it. He's like, it's ridiculous. The guys are trying to play.
Yeah. And by the way, there are guys who play a great season. Like last year, there were a couple who played a great season and made the Pro Bowl like on special teams. I'm like, for special teams, it matters. I get it for special teams,
or for or for certain linemen because linemen don't get recognized enough, especially offensive linemen.
Yeah,
don't get recognized enough. Like that I'm okay with. But when it's when certain receivers and certain quarterbacks and certain running backs are making it in over ones who are far better, I'm like, guys, what the hell are we voting for at this point? Like, there's no way some of these guys should be making it in over.
By the way, I think Pro Bowl voting is in like 2 weeks, so I'll update you guys on that.
Like, do you know how pissed I was that people held the first month of Cody Bellinger's performance against him in terms of like why he wasn't an all-star? I'm like, but he's literally an all-star caliber player and has been in his career. And I don't hold one bad month against him when after that he became one of the hottest hitters in baseball. I'm not going to hold that against Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger was an all-star snub because at that time, well, even past that, there's no reason why J-Rod and Randy Rosarena, because Randy I think eventually replaced J-Rod for that game. There's no way those two guys should have been all-stars over Cody Bellinger. Not in a million years.
I'm a Mariners fan, and I agreed at the time.
Yeah. And so it just makes me angry. Like, but it's the same thing that Scoop was saying. Like for certain awards, like Barry Bonds won the MVP. Scoop's waving again. There's a reason why like Barry Bonds won it 7 times. Did we ever hear about voter fatigue when he won the damn award 7 times? I don't think so. So why is it when Aaron Judge is coming up for this award again, and you can look at all the numbers, he's better than Cal Raleigh in damn near everything? Then they're like, voter fatigue. That's not a legit reason.
I think the only time it's legit is in the NBA because these guys make the Hall anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like that I can kind of understand. Yeah, the NBA is probably the worst in terms of their Hall of Fame. They just let anybody in.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
They
let anybody in.
There's so many guys in the NBA Hall of Fame that shouldn't even be close to being in there, but they are.
I think the only ones that they get right are for the Basketball Hall of Fame is the women's side. They get that right every time.
Yeah. Well, then you got to think about the history of the men's game and how long it's been around, how many players there are.
Right. But still, the women's game gets done so much better than the men's.
Yeah. Because the thing is, it's like you got guys in the hall. In the NBA Hall in the Naismith, Hall of Fame, where it's like you have guys in there who played like 6 seasons and were like a 2-time All-Star, and they're in there. It's like, what the hell did they do for the game? Nothing. Why are they in the Hall? Why? What the hell did they do that was so special? Like, it's not like they were a head coach after they left. It's not like they were an executive after they left, where they actually won rings as an executive or head coach. Like, no, these are guys that they played like 6-7 years, 6-7 years in the league. God
damn it!
And they literally won. Maybe they got 1 All-Star appearance or 2 All-Star appearances. They averaged like 10.5, points a game and had like 2 rebounds a game. And they're in the Hall. It's like, what the hell does that random Joe Schmo do? Other than play in the NBA, that qualifies him for the Hall of Fame. Show me.
Because everyone gets in.
Like, the NBA Hall of Fame is a joke. I don't take it seriously anymore. I don't, because it's like that.
The only time I care about the Naismith Hall of Fame is for the women's game, because they get it right every time.
Yeah.
They don't mess that up.
Or if it's one of our players, like one of the players that we love. Something like that. But it's like, But the thing is, they let so many people in, and this happens like quite honestly every year with the NBA Hall of Fame, where it's like, or I should say not NBA Basketball Hall of Fame, where there's people getting in there. I'm like, what the hell did they do for the game of basketball that made them so special? What did they do? Like, it's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Basketball Players. Like, this is it's the Hall of Fame. Fame implies that you're memorable, that you're remembered for something.
That you're remembered for life,
what
forever.
The hell is a guy? What is a guy that played 5-6 years in the league that made one All-Star appearance? What the hell is that guy remembered for? What are you remembered for? For doing what? God. I can't, man. There's so many fraudulent things in sports today, between sports gambling and betting and the problems with that, and overall health.
And Donald Trump being in a booth.
Oh, it's been a messy night. It's been so messy.
Well, we went 3 hours. Congratulations. Nice. That was good. Well, we'll see you back here tomorrow for hopefully the boys having a good time, or maybe being in Kevin Patullo purgatory. We'll find out.
We'll find out. Well, wait, tomorrow's movie is Hacksaw Ridge, right?
Hacksaw Ridge.
Okay, making sure.
Very excited about that.
Hopefully the movie's not the only thing I'm excited to talk about.
Facts.
Oh my god! And I think the week after we're doing Wild Robot, a really great animated film.
That's a good movie. Yeah.
I think it's the week after, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. Anyway, thank you guys for spending your night with us. 3 really fun hours talking about random shit and just having a good time.
Or early morning, depending on where you live. If you're like me, living on the East Coast, yeah.
I only have an hour until midnight for me. So
I'm kind of smack dab in the middle. It's about to be 1 a.m. here.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you all taking the time. For Brandon, for Scoop, for myself. We'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow with Shane is going to be a little somber because of the stuff we're going to talk about. But hopefully, at least for Brandon and Scoop, it's not somber and frustrating at the same time.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. But we'll see you all then. Peace, everybody, and we'll see you in short order.
Good night, fellas.
Night, everybody.